Canadian footwear. Let me tell you what it's about.
Oh,
Letting everyone know we exist, by the way.
it could also be
Good
about
you after
Virginia.
that?
Oh, right. Helps if I have chat in front of me.
Do they do that in Virginia?
Chat,
Yeah, like
yes.
Tidewater, a boot. Yeah, hoose, yep.
They're
Oh.
better.
Oh, I'm going down to
Oh,
Virginia.
yeah.
Going down to Virginia tomorrow, actually.
Like the government part of Virginia, or like the backwater, like hillbilly part of Virginia?
No, like
Tidewater is the like coastal, like Potomac
Yeah.
Bay parts of Virginia.
Well,
that
I've
would be
been-
what I meant by government Virginia.
Well,
I mean,
Like subject to DC Virginia.
I wasn't.
it's
West
pretty
Virginia.
far south of DC by the edge.
No, I'm going to Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, Richmond's a fun town. What are
Yeah,
you doing down there?
my sister is graduating college
Oh, cool.
on Friday, so
On the back of all that, hello everyone, I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour, and we're playing another episode of Halanak Station, a Star Trek Adventures tale, and we're all going to Virginia for a convention. No, just kidding.
To burn Richmond.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like a totally good plan. Am I? Yes, I am.
First
There we go.
time.
And we're a boot to find out where the Romulan did scoot.
I hate all of you. So,
Weeping.
would the Admiral like to paraphrase the log? Or would you like the computer to do it?
Absolutely, she would. All right. Admiralty log. Stardate 60699.7. The mission to secure suppliers of materials and expert shipwrights for the NX Starship project, mainly championed by Merchant Kusia and Commander Carpenter, is underway. Efforts to secure suitable candidates to complete the build team have encountered some difficulties, but so far remain apace with expectations. Simultaneously, investigations into the disappearance of the Imperial Romulan Fleet liaison continue under the discreet oversight of Centurion Bylov. Time is of the essence as each moment passes, diminishing the likelihood of successful rescue operation. Although, that's not for the log. Lieutenant Junior Grade Venn engages in discussions with Rear Admiral Trailblazer to gain a deeper understanding of the influence wielded by the inheritors over the free information sphere. Hopefully, the Lieutenant will uncover something that allows the FIS to disentangle themselves from this little understood technology. Unraveling this mystery is paramount to our mission's success and the preservation of FIS autonomy. Merchant Kusia has once again departed the system to continue his mission of preparing suppliers and expert shipwrights for the NX Starship project. As Kusia ventures further into the unknown, we remain grateful for his efforts and eagerly anticipate his return with positive results. And log.
This is a 2-threat game. We'll shift into the stars above Upantar. We'll do a couple rounds of what's happening here in the Upantar system and in Halanak before we cut over to the Gilded Star, because it takes a couple days for them to get there. So there's nothing for him to report other than I'm still flying there. I haven't done anything yet. Although I guess for each time we go around, I can tag you, QSA, to see if there's something you're doing while en route, because there's probably stuff you could be doing while you're traveling there. But that all said, I will shift the camera over to Kovic. And the way I explained your absence last time, Kovic, was that you were basically tying up the legalities of the arrested espionage prisoners to make sure that they're properly being documented and held in the right spot, make sure the right people have the right clearances to do this, that, and the other, and so on. Like actually the actual arresting part of it all and stuff. So that's all done. You're actually free of that for now.
Okay. So take a threat for well-informed. Please.
No, I haven't even changed the music yet. Now I'll take it.
And Okay, before I do well informed, I'm going to use my intelligence officer multidiscipline to create an advantage that I have narrowed down the location of role through poring through various intelligence reports and Starfleet intelligence reports of other polities reports and what have you.
Oh, I will give you that advantage. Rylov, there's probably something you want to tell him because you would have sent this information while he was arresting people.
Oh, you mean
Right.
the information I sent him last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that already. Don't worry.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
you did? Okay.
We know Rylov hasn't done anything. Also know it's excuse me, sorry guys, allergies are kicking my butt this week. That Tal Shiar, unlikely that either the Tal Shiar or the state initiated the operation. Both factions are far more likely to rely on Romulan personnel, but anybody who did do this probably didn't do it without some sort of a nod from a Tal Shiar officer or someone who could provide them cover. Anything else that I missed or need to know?
I believe that covers that, yeah.
Okay. So have that advantage that I've narrowed it down and been kind of established that we've been investigating to that. So now for well informed. Do we think does this is this new information I've covered up, does this once again tend to point to this system in state-controlled space that we found out about a couple episodes ago, where it was possible that the Tay had taken them?
Yes. You've narrowed down that it's somewhere in that system.
Okay, excellent. Does this appear to have been? Does his movements appear to have been part of a planned intelligence operation? Like trying to suss out if he's actually being kidnapped, or like taken against his will, or.
I would hand that. I'm tempted to hand that back to you because there's no way for the rumor mill to have a clear answer. I could tell you what the rumor mill thinks happened, but it wouldn't. I would hesitate to say it's a clear direction one way or the other.
Okay, I'll also note that in the description of Well-Informed, it talks about knowledge from contacts, as well as just rumors.
Yeah, but there's certain levels of top secret clearance that a contact just wouldn't be in. I don't see how you'd
Totally
have
fair.
that kind of contact.
Totally fair.
I got you the best I could already.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's totally fair. Okay, so in that case, what's the scuttlebutt around the station about what things Starfleet is building are revving up to do? I don't even know if we've set aside a bay yet. What are the rumors about what the Admiral's up to?
The rumor mill does note that a lot of key players of the Admiralty, they know about the Admiralty Council. They know that who's on it, but they don't know precisely what people are doing. And there's a suspicion that this is a buildup of some sort of fleet is being built here, or being not built here, but being assembled here. Mm-hmm. And the whole idea of you making one of the dry docks super secure, that may be just you making sure you could be building something here, or you could be just making sure there's a dedicated dock for these new ships coming in. Okay. People don't really know for sure one way or the other, because the people who were going to find out were stopped.
Excellent. That's exactly how I want things. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Because he was a liaison from a foreign power, although apparently he has gone missing, can Kovic access Rule's quarters or office? Well, I mean, his office is in my police station, so I'm assuming I can access his office. But
well, there's his he temporarily was in that
Right.
office, but when he actually was made an official liaison, he had his own quarters in the diplomatic quarters.
Okay.
You are to enter a diplomatic quarter under FIS law. You must apply. You as on the FIS side of the you need approval from both sides, both powers. The FIS kind of gives you that permission pretty much automatically because you're the station harmonizer. If it was a harmonizer from a different jurisdiction, they might say you need to you need the local harmonizer's permission, or because they're going to be wondering why you're there. But the Imperial, you need the Imperial Romulans to okay you going through that room, because otherwise it can be construed as invasion of sovereign territory until such time that they remove all their stuff from there, which they haven't removed anything from there. They haven't sent the Talshire haven't sent anyone here since its disappearance.
Not real sure I want to dig up that particular corpse. I will then contact Centurion Rylov. I guess that I'll make an appointment, as he's now in the diplomatic corps as well.
Always have been.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not also serving as a Starfleet officer switcheroo thing, right?
Liaison to them as well.
Okay, but like you're not in their chain of command like you were.
He's part of the Admiralty Council as fleet liaison.
Okay. But not like as embedded in as, say, when he was executive officer of a Federation starship.
That would be accurate, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to go try and talk with Rylov and see if maybe I can also loop in Talora, because I want Rylov to talk to himself.
I mean, great. It's probably available.
So, yeah,
I think he's waiting for politics at the moment.
Well, I have something much more fun than politics.
Yeah.
Where would Kovac find Rylov?
Probably in his office.
So yeah, same one on the same level, although the opposite side of the level, because putting them across from each other seemed like a bad idea.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll ding the buzzer and go on in.
Yeah, it's just, come in, etc.
Ah.
If he asked for Talora, then she's probably already there.
Okay. What's her rank now? Still sub-lieutenant or
Lieutenant.
lieutenant? Okay. Ah.
Okay, there's
yeah.
like a dozen others that are just in. There's like a larger room and then a smaller room off to the side. But there are other Romulans now.
Well,
Forgot about them.
You actually got liaison staff beyond just Talora.
Well, I'll find someplace out in the lobby to put out my cigarette before I go into Rylov's office.
Oh, look at
Nice.
that.
Some sort of potted plant or something.
Charming. Good to see you, Harmonizer.
Strian, Lieutenant, are we secure to talk in here? Or do we need to go get some coffee?
We should be perfectly fine to talk here.
All right, I'll remember you said that. Let's take one of your fancy cloaked ships and go rescue Roll in state space.
The very visible, just looking at Kovic with the "I'm processing," but also "Did you really just?" sort of vagueness.
No, I'm dead serious, Rylov. Let's go get him. My intelligence is telling me that he's somewhere in this system, which we never got a name for.
You did. You just forgot it.
We do have a name for it.
Oh,
I also forgot it. Don't worry.
I never had a name for it because it's not in my notes. It just says system is state controlled. And the USS
I don't think we had a
Florida
name.
is a regular
We just had
trader.
we just had a dot on the map.
Belak. Not to toot my horn, but it would be weird for me to write down the names of the two Tay ships and not the system.
Yeah, we've got Corva, Zadai.
Yeah, and Zidai, yeah. So,
I
we know that I think he's probably somewhere in the Bellic system. I don't really want to, if I could search his quarters without raising any flags, which legally I can't, I might be able to find something that would assist us, but I'm not sure I want to stir up that particular hornet's nest. Meanwhile, I've got two perfectly good Romulans right here who fortuitously belong to the same polity of the system where I believe role has been taken, and who have proven themselves to be relatively trustworthy and assisted me on several investigations of the past, as has Liaison Sub-Commander Rule. So, looked at from my perspective, I kind of owe the guy.
All right. The understanding we'd have to have is that if this is somehow state-related, we wouldn't get him. Because I wouldn't go against... I don't think that's what's happened, but if for some reason it is...
Well, then let's go and find out. I mean, like you said, for all we know, this is some triple blind Tal Shiar weird infiltration method, but I don't buy that, and I don't think you buy it. And at this point, I think we have figured out everything we can from afar, so I think it's time to get a little bit of a closer look.
I do have ships. Well, shuttles. Something equivalent to a runabout.
Right.
Which isn't particularly fast. It would take us over a month, I think, with how far away they are to get there on a runabout. Unless I'm mistaken on that, but I believe it was about the far side of Romulan space.
What's the speed of your
It's basically just a regular Federation runabout in terms of everything else.
So like 9 point something.
Yeah.
Find out.
Federation runabouts go to warp 5, I think.
Yeah, they go to warp 5.
They're not fast.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
they're way slower than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe warp 6? I'll double check
I know in
that.
early DS9 they were warp 5. But
Oh, I know how you usually hand waved, at least in Federation space. I would say if someone was taking a runabout, they'd run about some distance and find some ship to park on and ride for a while, and then just move from ship to ship to ship in their shuttle.
Yeah.
Which
you might be able to do in Romulan territory.
Feasible, but we'd have to get to Romulan. Well, I mean, I suppose I could jump from Federation ships to elsewhere, but
if only we had done this a month ago when we had a shuttle. They could just
be
do it.
silent. I mean, the shuttle still
You do
exists,
have it.
We still have that.
It's just not a Romulan craft.
But
And no, we're not putting a cloaking device on that shuttle.
oh, why not?
It wouldn't be a treaty violation, I'm just saying.
It
would
would
too.
be. It was made jointly between the two of you.
I mean, we could put a cloaking device on an FIS ship.
Now that's true.
Just have to explain to the Senate why you're giving state secrets to a non-signatory power.
Yeah,
Also,
technically yes.
you don't
I have
want
to
to get
defend
caught.
that.
You might not want to get caught in any vessel, but you certainly don't want to get caught in a vessel that's still using FIS weapons and shields, because you're gonna die.
Oh, there's that.
No, if we get... Okay, I mean, Federation side of things, getting to the Romulan border, that's easy enough. Romulan side of things, finding someone to get us part of the way towards the Bellic system, or most of the way there, could be possible.
Well, I mean, we know 2 ships that make that run from Halanak pretty regularly.
No, you're not suggesting.
I mean, the consortium of Tay is mercenary. We pony up the cash.
Yes.
They can tuck the shuttle nice and tight into their hold, and if one of them is, Kovic will see if one of them is in the system or docked or anything or expected soon.
Give me reason plus con, difficulty of 2. Assisted by ship's computers con.
Had to be con.
Do you want Rylov to look instead?
You could certainly assist. I just, I started this, so I might as well flub it myself.
I'll help.
I'll go for intuitive because I've known about these ships and been investigating this. Maybe I kind of have their general timing and routine floating in the back of my head.
I'm going to say no on that here.
I think the dice said no. Okay. What do you know?
Okay.
1 gained so far.
Nope.
Plus the station.
Just off. I also didn't change my name. Oh well.
Yeah, you can just take off the possibly part of that.
At computers con?
Yeah, yep. We only gain 1.
It teased you with the idea of helping on that second die, but it
I
didn't count.
The ship sheets. Oh, the ship sheets.
Oh yeah, there'd be a consortium. There's a couple of consortium of Tay ships in dock. If you wanted to pay for hire one, it would cost you an opportunity. If you're just going for you're just trying to get a transport, they wouldn't necessarily have a reason to have warships stop here. They could, their scale 4 ships and scale 5 ships could stop here. They don't have a great reason to stop here though, because they don't fight anyone out here.
I mean, fast freighter going in that direction, since we know that some of them do. That's all I need.
Yeah, that would cost 3 opportunity to hire one. But there's a couple here. They all cost about 3 opportunity or so, which is reflected in Latinum or some other hard currency. So it's because they're outside of the Federation credit system, so they don't they can't really be. You can't get on them freely.
Right. So I need one that has some business in the Belloc system that will keep them there for at least a few days, so we can catch a ride back.
For 3 opportunity and one threat, they'll hang about however much you want. It's your money.
Yes, but I need them to look like they have reason to hang about, not just hanging about.
They'll find a
It's
reason.
a training facility for them.
Yeah, they'll just go training.
Oh, okay.
Then again, if we have
Because that's how you got the lead there.
Consortium.
Because there's a Consortium Tay base there, not base, but that's where Consortium Tay trains a lot of their people.
Okay.
So it's it's perfectly natural for them to just go there.
So you're talking how many resources in total?
4 total. 3 opportunity, 1 threat, 1 escalation, I should say.
All right, and we can't pay for the opportunity with threat.
You can.
You can just try to do something to generate some. Anyway, I mean, Kovic puts down the pad with the shipping news on the desk and said, "I can get us a reasonable ride. We can slip out, sneak around, see what we can see. Or you guys are state. We don't even have to sneak around."
We don't.
That would take about 16 days because they can go warp 9.9.
Yeah, there you go.
Not 9.9. I'm full of crap. Sorry. Am I right? 9.9. I was right. I was right the first time.
It won't be gone any longer, really, than the merchant, whose name I'm completely blanking on.
Kosia.
Kosia, yeah. Kosia.
No,
Kosia.
that's true.
I will note
Back in
that.
time to go on a rescue mission to save you.
I will note that 3 days into that travel, you're scheduled to have a meeting with Admiral Thralic. So that would have to happen over subspace since you'd be in transit at the time.
as long as you've got your little quantum thing on you, that's feasible.
It's really just Kovic trying desperately to get out of a meeting.
Yeah. It's like, on the same foot, I mean, actually, this could be, yeah, useful. Okay.
So, are the three of us enough, or do we need more of a team?
Well, a doctor is always helpful. I do have one. I mean, everything we would need for a team I have with the staff here, though I imagine you would probably want to bring a harmonizer.
Well, I mean, let's be frank. I'm operating way outside of my jurisdiction, so harmonizer or not. And I am
Because the FAS will
fair.
certainly want to honor that, but the Romulan state might not.
Right. As far as I'm going, as far as I'm concerned, I'm, taking some vacation and looking for a friend.
Oh.
I mean, that can be my claim anyway, but I'm a fair hand with a medikit. He's got a medicine of 3, so he's not terrible.
Yeah, that's more than first aid. 3 implies competence in that field.
No, we can do it.
So sure, pick your team.
Dr. Karras, Talora. I'm not sure how much security we'll need, honestly, between the two of us. Engineering or security as a preference.
Okay. As I recall, Laura, she's science.
She's a scientist.
I always think she's handy with engineering for some reason.
She is, because she's done the reading.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It just gets very expensive. No, but you've got Dr. Karras, Sub-Lieutenant Sundari is engineering, and Lieutenant Devaro and Ulan Gaius both security.
Yeah, I see. Engineering might be handy.
Fair enough. We'll go. 2 of us, Lieutenant Delora, Dr. Karras, and Sub-Lieutenant Zadari. And Devaro and Gaius can remain here, and...
Great.
Nice.
I'll pack my valise.
So, Karis, Sindari, Devaro, and Talora? Is that right?
No, this group down here. That.
Okay.
Those are what's going. Actually, that works too, because I believe, is crew support 2 on a shuttle if we are on that runabout, and Talora has constant presence, so there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually works.
GM, is there a possibility of me maybe trying some role to generate some momentum to pay for all this nonsense?
Give me Reason Command difficulty of 2, using Computers Command to assist. As this is you requisitioning funds from the FIS, because you do have some discretionary funds, but you have to fill out some. You have to requisition the money, because the FIS have their money. It's like, well, you have some money. It's like, well, no, I need a significant amount of money, and it's for an official duty. It's like, oh, well, fill out the paperwork, and we'll see if we can approve it.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's see if I've got anything that might...
If assisting you let me use the momentum-generating metal, I'd do it, but it doesn't. I have to do the task myself. I can still assist you, though, if you want additional help with paperwork.
You made that sound so very sinister.
Thank you, I practice.
Oh, very good, very good, very good. Okay, sure. I mean, I'll take an assist, but I will... I'm trying to generate momentum, or we'll get the resources, I guess. So, I guess I will spend the 1 momentum we have like an idiot on a 3rd die.
Sometimes that's how it is.
Yeah, not the worst roll I ever made.
It is in command.
What's the station rolling?
Computers Command.
Oh, I was just one shy of critting for you.
Computers, command.
Slacker.
Yeah.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4 generated. Whoop. And he did 3 opportunity and 1 escalation.
Yep.
So 3 momentum and 1 threat. To hire that
Now
ship.
then, to hire the ship, what sort of equipment do we need?
Yeah, because you won't be able to requisition stuff from... Well, you can, but the cost will be higher because you're purchasing it from the ship. Or renting it, even. But if you're doing it from the station, it's a lot easier.
Will we, when we're doing this quote-unquote subspace message, can we do it through, like, Kovic's QEC?
You can, yeah, because you're calling Halanak Station, and you're part of the switchboard network, so...
Which will make it more secure anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm guessing Dr. Karras and your engineer come with their respective kits.
I would if their job is like engineer and doctor, then they would have their standard issue gear.
Yeah. In that case, then yes, Laura is the scientist, which means she technically has that science tricorder that never really gets mentioned.
I bring it up sometimes.
Yeah, that was more just facetious than anything else.
Not on the carpet, freaking.
I mean, I doubt this will come up, but can Kovic say he has? Yeah, he's got one. He's an evidence collection kit. He has a forensics kit. Do you think we might need? What are they called? Those things that take down shields, not guns, but
Oh, the force field disruptors. There's a word for it. I forget what it is.
it's
Enough
in
personnel.
operations somewhere. I've got that book.
Sure, it's
It's like a field destabilizer or something like that.
You are right. Field destabilizers. Opportunity 1.
If it does help, I do have a screamer.
What's a screamer?
Huh.
The distress signal.
Oh. Oh, should we take the Spock helmet? That has a screamer on it too.
No.
No. Yeah, field destabilizer might come in handy. Ooh, okay. Swiftwind Express. I don't know if this is possible, GM. Is there a way to set up a local quantum entangled communicator net, like between the 5 of us, so we had like 5 communicators that were all entangled and could speak to each other?
So to I don't bring it up too often, but to point out how the QECs and the FAS work, they're all tied. They're entangled with a receiver at Halanak Station, and they basically have a switchboard that switches you over to the other people. Because it's QEC, it's quantum speed, as it were. It's near instantaneous, so everyone can talk to everyone else. And the way Halanak Station has it set up is that people can't listen in at the station level without a special permission from the assembly. Like there's a special code that they need to use, and that's for like emergencies and stuff, or for finding people who are lost, that sort of thing. But you can requisition QECs for each of them. It would cost 1 opportunity per person. Wait, no, you only spend opportunity once when you buy stuff. It's escalation you buy multiple times. So you would just spend opportunity 1 to requisition extra QECs. Each QEC receiver has a different phone number, so to speak.
Does that include for the person who just kept theirs constantly?
Yeah. So is that, we think that's secure enough? I mean, because I would lay you money that probably the military has some like portable receivers that they probably use.
Insight security difficulty 2. I have an answer to that, but it's not something the average person would know. Maybe you do. Actually, I'll make it difficulty 1. It's something your characters likely know, but...
Okay.
given the two people I'm talking about.
Hmm.
You might be more
Now, if
knowledgeable.
I'm supposed to know or not is debatable, apparently.
Mm.
Fair enough.
So I'll help you if you need it, but
Insight security difficulty 2.
1.
1. Okay. I don't have a reroll anyway, so I think I'll just roll this flat.
Okay.
Wow, difficulty 111. That's a lot.
I need guidance, so I'm not going to open my mouth and say more than I need to. Clearly.
So QECs are you can't man in the middle QEC, really. Like you could, but you'd have to be at Halanak Station in the transmed room with the code. But otherwise, there's no way to jump in the middle. However, you still have to talk out loud in a room. So if I have a listening device of some kind in that room, I can still hear you and what your little speaker's doing.
Right.
So just keep that. It's secure as long as you're secure about where you're talking. I figured I should highlight that.
Right.
Given that you're on a ship that you don't really control, you're just hiring it.
Right. At this point, I'm more worried about the 5 of us being able to communicate effectively.
Yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
intercepting quantum entanglement is... in Star Trek universe, I always hesitate to say impossible. I would say it's incredibly difficult. It would require technology that you don't currently know about.
Fair enough.
It would require some sort of theoretical super tech to catch. Because otherwise, physically speaking, there's nothing to intercept. There's no transmission. It's just two quantum particles vibrating at the exact same time.
Okay, so have we already spent for the field destabilizer?
That would cost 2 opportunity.
Field destabilizer says 1.
Does it? Oh, well, there you go. I thought you didn't know where it was. So the generic number for a cool gear is 2.
Yeah, it's ops page 55.
Nice. I know.
And then the QECs will cost another 1. Do we need to pay for like beacons or any of that junk if we need a flashlight? As long as we
Beacons do have a cost.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
That's 1 opportunity, I believe, because it's just a
Oh
flashlight.
God. Do we want body armor?
No.
Okay.
I mean, think of it this way. If we really decide we need body armor once we've got there, we'll be at a state facility and I can requisition it.
Oh yeah, there's that.
If we need it between here and there's a problem.
Well, and I'll wait to pay if we need beacons because we can do. Oh well, there's a rack of beacons in the shuttle in case. So I think that's fair.
I'll highlight
Anything else?
I'll highlight mechanically speaking. Opportunity can be the monetary expenditure, but also can highlight you. Well, actually, yeah, it's you spending time to go to a locker to get it rather than going straight to the mission. But if you have a ton of time between here and there, then opportunity cost and escalation may be waived because you have so much time that there's no lost time to get what you're getting.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think we'll give you a threat for that right now. Is there anything else we might like need that anybody can think of?
I will remind, because this is information that Ryloff already has, all of the planets, I'm going to double check.
Hey, Eva suits.
All are Class C or Class H. That's why there's like dome worlds and stuff. That's where... And the Class H is a desert world. That's where the training happens. On the Prelga Gamma training facility. And the others are icy worlds, basically. So...
They're not
I won't charge for Eva's suit, at least, because they'd be necessary to go outside of the domes. So Eva suit you can get for free. Because otherwise you can't leave the dome cities. The dome resorts, dome training facilities.
Fair enough.
Just a wall of suits.
Okay.
A box, more likely. But yes, I don't imagine we'll need terribly much else.
Okay.
You know, an alibi maybe.
If that's fair. So what is this? Okay, within limits of what you can tell me, is this like a mining colony? What is the state generically up to in the Belloc system?
It's basically a training. It's a place where the Navy would train people in hostile environments.
Okay.
And that's like EVA suit training, desert combat training, that sort of stuff. But the thing is, the state doesn't do that. I mean, they do it all the time, but there's a whole planet, right? So they go, well, if you're willing to pay a fee, anyone can train there. And if you want to like have a continuing, if you're a mercenary company or something like that, you can just pay a larger group fee for your company. And that's how you found out the Consortium Tay is there. They don't have their own facility there. They just have that's a place where a lot of their money goes to train. That's the place they train in Romulan space, because it's a really good training facility. So some of it can be, you can either organize your own training for your own team, like go ahead, go in your suits, have fun, or if you want to hire a Navy person to teach you stuff, not state secret stuff, but it's not a state secret on how not to die in a desert. You want to pay us 100 bars of latinum to teach your people? Sure. That's an extra 100 bars of latinum we can use for other stuff, sort of thing. Okay. But it's mainly Romulans. It's mainly used by Romulan and Romulan citizens. But the Consortium of Tay are one of the large outsider training people, and they do training on the various worlds. The Proga Gamma is the primary one that a lot of the training is, because you can survive outside of the domes, sort of. Like, in theory, you could lose. They can do like suit failures and stuff like that. On the other worlds are Class C's. You need a suit or you'll start freezing to death. Well, if you want to go for more extreme training, well, there's a bunch of other worlds, so there's tons of space for people to go. And some people do live there, selling stuff, like selling gear, selling food, stuff like that. So people do live there. It's just not,
All right.
And
So
it gives me a perfectly valid reason to have dragged you all the way out there.
am I investigating training facilities potentially for the harmonizers?
Exactly.
Yeah, fair enough.
I will warn that the Class H planet in particular, atmosphere contains hyperonic radiation, lethal to humanoids and Vulcanoids, rendering transporters and phasers inoperable, but not disruptors, hilariously. Exceedingly dangerous animal and plant life, which come in the form of gelid or blobby life forms.
Would that interrupt his gun?
Nope.
Yeah, didn't think so.
Yeah.
We're
Also,
fine.
gelid life forms, so every day on Halanak Station.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, that sounds like a hazardous environment for a third of the population here.
Fair enough. Where are the planets?
I'll just reach out and say hello to them. No, Mr. Opentari, please do not touch the random gel monster. That's not a monster. I mean, that's not what I mean, but it's not sapient. Oh. You sure? I can try. Please don't.
It will eat you.
Okay. I'm sure I'm forgetting something absolutely necessary, but I can't think of it right now.
Lockpicks.
Oh, lockpicks. That's very good.
That was half sarcastic, but
I would charge 2 for that, I guess.
You're a take-2 threat.
which I'm assuming this is also something could potentially Jimmy open a door that doesn't actually have a keyhole.
Right.
Yeah, it's a general purpose lockpicker.
Yeah.
Unless it's exceptionally high tech or exceptionally low tech.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think we may be good to go.
So you board
Lovely.
the Swiftwind Express and carry on.
Yeah, tell Rulan that she's in charge, and
Yeah. Congratulations, Lieutenant Navarro. If anyone needs me, tell them that they can route a communication through Harmonizer Kovic if they sincerely need to.
and I'll use my constable role before we lead to create an advantage that because of informant's information, I'm able to leave Rulan with good information on how to prevent further infiltration of the project. Just give her an extra hit if somebody tries to get through security for it.
Very good. And you're able to do that because you have multi-discipline.
Yep. Aha!
Look at you go.
We will swap over to Carpenter, Thralic, or Ven.
I'm good with whatever.
Carpenter Thralic?
Carpenter Thralic. It's
Hello.
different than climbing Thralic.
Yeah, I'm taking on a new hobby. You know, in all my free time as an admiral.
Fair.
Okay, so last week I successfully recruited, I believe, just one person, right? I got Lieutenant Commander Narek Thalos, right? And he's being
Pending-
reassigned here.
You also got Grunk.
Unfortunately.
I'm not talking about Grunk right now.
Aw. No one likes Grunk.
I love
Isn't he still pending the conclusion of a temporal investigation?
You'll be able to get him though. That was a
I will be able to get him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
yeah. That one I'll give you.
And the Frolic got to call.
Yep.
Has there been any movement on the other three?
The medical one is under investigation, so they're tied down until that's unraveled. Whether or not
Okay.
they're gonna come out clear of their investigation is unknown because you guys are basically shut out.
Then I would like to grab Lieutenant Junior Grade Victor Petrov. And if he's not available to be recruited right now, then I'd go to Alara Sato.
Nope. Petrov, the Bajoran at Engineering Command on Luna. Give me your soul. No, give me
You can have it.
control command difficulty of 2, assisted by computers command. As you fill out you basically make a requisition that you want this junior officer from them and letting him know the transfer and all that stuff. Getting a junior officer is a lot easier because honestly, being transferred off of home command is a much better prospect than it depends on the person, but you know this person is
Alright.
looking for somewhere to transfer.
A focus in bureaucracy.
Yes.
Okay. Control command. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You said diff 2, right?
Yep.
Take 3 threat, and hopefully I'll make some momentum here.
Oop.
Okay. I don't have enough to quash the comp, so I guess
can
we'll
give
have
you a
comp
reroll.
command
Um,
if you assist.
I trigger. Yeah, I'd like to trigger methodical planning.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. You have a reroll there, Carpenter.
All right.
I
Well,
help.
we generated enough to that we get 3 momentum, and then we can quash it.
Using the bonus.
Oh, you generate bonus as well. That's right.
Yeah, I generate bonus.
Station roll.
Like that. Top command.
Nope.
Station crits too?
2. For 2, so I will say to you that the recruitment of Victor Petrov is fairly easy, because they were they're a Bajoran whose career is kind of stymied by the fact that they really wanted to work in or around Bajor, or rather they don't want to is actually the thing, because they have that pall of being a collaborator family. So, which Starfleet would rather they worked there if they could, because they know things. It's like, well, I don't want to work there. Well, and as a junior officer, it's kind of hard to be picky about your assignments. And now you come along saying, hey, we'll reach out if you want an assignment out here. We'll totally take you, and it is an easy sell. The Luna base engineering command of a junior is happy to transfer junior officers. They're kind of the safe haven for any officer. It's like if you're an engineer, getting a junior position on the station is not hard. Staying there at higher ranks is highly competitive. It's like trying to work at Utopia Planitia. There's lots of little ranks. It's hard. There's very few high ranks. Yeah. For 2 momentum, you can get some extra time to try to recruit a second person while you're recruiting Petrov. Like you're doing one set of paperwork beside another momentum.
One. And I'm calling up Deep Space Nine to get Alara Sato.
Insert Deep Space Nine sting.
Uh-huh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Just fly around it and everybody stare like you're in awe or something.
God, I
Keep
love
circling.
that joke so much. Just keep going.
Are we at all worried about Sato's conflict of interest?
Well, we lost one engineer. I feel like we kind of need more Starfleet people, especially considering the kinds of people that our civilian contractors turning up. So unless you're telling Carpenter, no, you can't have her, find someone else, she's going to recruit her.
No, I don't think I'm doing that. I think it's just something like we need to keep an eye on, probably. Specifically thinking about the security clearance concerns.
You get on the line with a Lieutenant Commander Arya Valan, a human who works at Deep Space Nine. Commander Carpenter, Halanak Station, I believe.
Yes, it is Commander Carpenter, Adjutant to Rear Admiral Thralic. I am calling you as per the requisition form I have sent in regards to a recruitment of one of your officers.
May I inquire as to the nature of what they're going to be working on?
This is a Lieutenant Commander?
Yes, Commander.
No, out of character.
Yes.
Do I know, like, what their position is? Are they a red shirt, a gold shirt, a blue shirt? Do I know what their job is on Deep Space Nine?
They are a gold shirt that works they're the strategic operations officer. Actually, no, they're red then, if they're strategic operations. My bad.
In that case, well, the exact details of the job are under some classification. I am at liberty to tell you that it is a job involving the manufacturing and the design, manufacturing, and maintenance of Starfleet vessels.
Well, I'm in that case, Commander. I of course can forward the offer, but I don't know if Captain Kira is going to be terribly convinced that Lieutenant Sato should be moved out of their disciplinary assignment. We've had, as I'm sure you're aware, we've had some incidents with Lieutenant Sato, and I personally would be perfectly glad for you to take her on, but I'm sure once I put I may sign off on it, but I'm pretty sure the captain's going to shut this down because she's fairly convinced that she needs to straighten out Sato, and she doesn't know Halanak Station. I don't think so, unless someone there knows something that I don't. But me and you will have to figure out how exactly we can assure the captain that this officer is going to develop out of their disciplinary issues in your care. I mean, if your admiral wants to put their foot down, I'm sure Starfleet would force it through. But from one not operations officer, but from one assistant to another, shall I say, my captain can be very stubborn and may drag this out.
I understand Sato's disciplinary record is less than ideal, but, well, it's a little bit hard to pull the cream of the crop out this far on assignments like this.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
She has many of the skills necessary that would be of critical importance to this job. Could you here's what I want to do. I want to declassify, or I want to grab some classified reports about what our plan for construction and why it's important, the defense of Halanak Station. I want to classify some of those reports and say, or I want to grab some of those classified reports and I want to say, can you send these over to the captain? I believe these would help elucidate her on why such a transfer would be important.
Give me presence command difficulty of 3. Complication range is increased by just +1 because you're giving classified material, but it is going to a command level officer, so it's not it's not out of hand, but there is a risk that someone who shouldn't see it might see it.
Because it is traveling across both ends of the Federation. Yeah. Focus in bureaucracy again.
Yep.
All right. My presence isn't great.
And you're being assisted by station's communications command because you're probably encrypting it to some degree.
Yes. That's not going to be useful. That's not going to be useful. That's not going to be useful. Well, that's great.
And Valan will be rolling to assist because they are actually keen to get rid of this officer. They just can't.
Yeah, that was the subtext I was gathering. All right. 1 momentum, 2 threat.
Please take them off of me.
Jesus.
And I would like to trigger methodical planning.
Oh my god.
Don't bother. I'll just burn determination. I want you to be free to pursue your own stuff, but...
Oh no, methodical planning doesn't cost me anything as long as the plan's in place.
Okay. So, what does that do?
Methodical planning is me being able to assist without spending, action, basically.
Oh, okay, because you've... Okay. So
Because
you
I
did
set
get
the
a
planning
hit, so we do succeed, so, okay.
And then
And that gives me, what,
give you a
1
reroll. Yeah,
Okay.
if you want a determination reroll first and then keep...
It's fine, okay. So, we do have enough momentum to quash the other comp then.
And I will spend maximized efficiency to reroll my assist die. It hits as well. And we generate a bonus momentum, which we can use towards squashing that.
So 1 and 1, basically. Yeah. So you only have to spend 1 effectively.
Yep.
You with the classified material, Lieutenant Commander Valan has it sight unseen. They just are forwarding the message because they're not clear to know that currently. They don't need to know it, so they're not going to know it. And between you and Valan, you're both able to kind of phrase it in a way that, Valan's able to help you understand Kira's mindset and why she is doing what she's doing, and why this officer Sato's very useful, can find a purpose in this new higher project, and maybe that will give them a much better outlook on their job. Sure, they'll be a little ornery, but it helps
Also
to have a higher cause rather than just being another cog in the in station operations.
And it also
The idea that personality might actually mesh well with FIS personnel.
not to mention it also just gets them away from Deep Space Nine, which probably exacerbates things.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Deep Space Nine is a place with a very
They're very close to Trill Space compared to you.
Yeah, well, and it's very tied to the history of Bajor and
Mm-hmm.
what with the whole collaborator thing.
Well,
No,
no.
that's the other
Sato's a Trill.
Oh, this is a totally different.
Mixing two different people together.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I did 2 characters.
Yeah, Sato is part of various underground has some association with fringe elements in Trill society about who should get symbiotes and not, sort of thing. So they have divided loyalties, which really has stymied their career.
Okay,
badly.
I apologize. I missed the spot where we switched from talking about one to the other.
Yeah.
But
Especially because I knew we were talking about Deep Space Nine.
But here's the important thing, right? Here's the important thing. Much like the ancient Roman strategy of making up the armies who patrol different territories made up of not the ethnic group that lived there and sending them all about to patrol each other, by grabbing a Trill who has conflicted loyalties and throwing her to the other side of Federation space, her ability to influence and be influenced by Trill society goes down to like 0. And like either she quits about it, at which point problem solved, or she, the loyalty issue matters a lot less. And it doesn't matter anyways, because the most important thing is now I get to have a one-up over Kusia, because I've recruited like a half for this job, and he recruited one guy who is maybe the dumbest man to ever live.
So do we want to start talking about the flaws that we just went over in depth about all the people you've recruited? Because they were many and varied.
Hey, one of them doesn't have any flaws. His only flaw is his last name, which, hey, you can't pick your family.
But I will say, so of these people you've recruited, how many people are recruited total now? 1, 2, 3?
3?
4?
No, 4.
4. We've gotten everyone but the doctor, who will have to find a replacement for the doctor.
Probably. We'll keep an eye on that.
I will let you know at this point, given that it's been like a day or two since that first conversation. Mm-hmm. You usually you'd get an update of, hey, go ahead and wait, or hey, or like with the other person, the temporal affairs were just said, hey, they're under investigation, they'll probably be fine. But we're looking into them, just so you know. It's like, oh, okay, I'm cool with it, whatever. This other person, there's no update one way or the other, so that means they're caught up in something, and the only way you're probably going to get them in a timely manner is if you intervene in some way. Otherwise, they're a lost cause, because it will take, by the time they're clear, if they are ever cleared, it's looking like it's going to be months, if not a year, before they're ever back into regular circulation.
In that case, I'll spend this episode trying to find someone who can fill her role, which was xenobiological research.
I will sweep back to you on that.
Of course.
Carpenter managed to recruit 2 people, which is 1 for every one of Grunk's brain cells.
And make sure to note what names you got, because those names are people who you'll be able to create support characters out of them.
Once they arrive. Yeah.
Once they arrive, and I'll for Sato and
Petrov?
Petrov? No. There's a couple people. Oh, did you recruit Narek Thalas? No.
Yes, we did. Thalas is the one who had the temporal investigation.
Right, and then there's Patel. Patel's the one who's tied down.
Yes, with the ethics investigation. Different investigation.
So for Narek and Sato, I'll be adding an extra trait to them because of their checkered past. Which can help.
I mean, with Narek, it could be a checkered future.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I pulled this person without thinking. So yeah, it falls to Throlic or Vin.
Go ahead, Ben.
Ah, sure, yes. Ben. Where were we at with Trailblazer last time?
He told you about anti-desertium. He answered some questions for you. You still have him. It's just another day that where he's hanging. He's here to help you with your investigations.
Okay, what have I not covered that was on the Admiral's docket?
You can check your directives, or you can ask the admiral directly.
Yeah. Are those in the pins here?
Yep.
Yep, they're in
In the,
pens.
There's your
in the Discord?
Yep.
Yeah.
Standing directives and the mission directives.
Why do I not see any?
Scroll down 2. We have 2 missions before them.
Hold on. Are they?
It's after Bolt Horizons, but it's between Bolt Horizons of Progress and Bolt Horizons.
Is this in the Roll20 or on Discord?
Discord.
Why do I not see any pinned messages in this channel?
That's weird.
It just says this channel doesn't have any pinned messages.
That is
which I
100%
know
untrue.
Yeah.
I have way too many, in fact. I'm always...
Yeah.
Fact is a lie. Hang on, let me try it on my phone, because...
Here, I can read out directives for you. We've got Directive 1, find suppliers of materials and expert shipwrights for NX construction.
Oh, hang on.
Directive 2, establish smokescreen and security procedures for NX construction. Directive 3, investigate degree of inherited technological and biological dependency and influence on FIS worlds and species. That's probably the one that matters for you.
Yep.
And then standing directives, strengthen relations with the FIS and assist with the integration of personnel and infrastructure. And 2, decrease reliance on inherited technology where possible.
Okay, I think the next thing to do is to determine the degree to which there is dependency.
Yep, that's Directive 3.
Yep, I think we determined that the technological dependency is minimal. Kind of. Or actually, I'm sorry, it's the biological dependency that's minimal.
Yeah.
The biology of the species of FIS do not require the inheritor technology to be around for the species to biologically continue to function. That trigger was pulled like multiple billions of years ago.
Yeah.
The question is the technological dependency that currently the world is dependent upon FIS technology in order to... Right, so then, hang on, I have to go back to stuff Corbinian sent me last week. Anti-desertium. What was it that he told me about anti-desertium? I'm trying to remember what that was.
I'm going to call for Insight Command Difficulty 2. That's something Ben should know.
A research focus?
Yep.
Cool. I am spending... Insight Command Difficulty 2. Top of the class?
I wouldn't take it, no.
Okay. Yep, okay. That's just gonna be that. Complication range is 1. Come on. Hey, that's 2.
That relates to what happened to your parents. And Trailblazer had to talk, didn't directly answer it. He simply said that it would not hurt for him to tell you that you could look up in a you could look up something in a library. He told you the thing to look up was anti-desertium.
Got it. Okay, cool. I remember now. Okay. Give me a moment. Trying to think about what I need to ask about next. I'm sorry, I'm looking over the directives again. Investigate a degree of technological. Oh, here's an interesting question. So we've seen very obviously the effects that the inheritor base has on just this one world. Does this facility have any wider impact on other worlds, or is its influence limited to this one planet?
Reason, science, difficulty of 3.
Cool.
Assisted by computers plus science. And Trailblazer obviously will assist.
Yep, I'll spend a momentum for a third die. Research focus again.
Yep.
I'm going to again make myself inheritor technology expert for the purposes of this session.
Okay.
And I'll re-roll the 0. Thank you. So that's 4 hits from me. And I also generate a bonus momentum, I believe.
Plus station?
Station. Computer science. Station assists.
You and Trailblazer are able to look over the data that's been gathered so far across the FIS and kind of contrast and compare, and find that Aquarius seems to be focused on Upantar itself and the Upantari. Though it is entirely possible that other facilities may exist on those other planets, but there is no confirmation of such facilities existing. But Aquarius itself does not affect the entirety of the FES by itself. It just affects the Upantari and the planet Upantar.
All right.
And its star, I suppose. But well, not the star, the planet, I should say.
Okay. With my bonus momentum, I would like to ask the question. It's designed to do that, and so that is what it has been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have the potential to have a wider reach of effect, and it just has been told not to?
Given your understanding, your almost instinctual level understanding, and what you've seen of Inheritor tech and such, it is entirely it isn't designed to do that, but one theoretically could reconfigure it to have a wider scale.
Okay.
It would probably need an extra module of some kind. Like it's not there's a to put it to you a different way. That would be like giving a starship an extra talent. Like it wouldn't be a minor thing. It would be something someone would have to go out of their way to build into the facility, and you'd need the tools and facilities to incorporate that, which would require someone who knows Inheritor tech or to require an Inheritor themselves to do it.
Okay, that's beyond the scope of anything that Ven wants to do, really. It's more of, okay, I now know that's... Yeah, okay. Interesting.
I will highlight if someone becomes an expert in Inheritor technology, they might be able to try to use Aquarius to build that module. But they'd have to study the place for years. Whereas you have a sort of inbuilt knowledge of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or inbuilt familiarity. Better way to put it. Knowledge is kind of a strong word.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. That's.
You have a bonus question for being a sci. Oh, you're not sci. You're using your expert. Never mind.
No, I'm using my the reason I got the bonus momentum was because I'm an expert
Right.
in inheritor tech specifically.
I will look to Throlic unless you're spending more momentum for more questions.
I do not think so. I'm good.
Admiral Throlic.
All right then. Yeah, I am going to look into domestic specialists. So FIS, shipbuilding, and xenobiologists, actually, since we are missing that. Looking to assemble the FIS side of the team.
Reason medicine, difficulty 2, assisted by computers medicine. As you look
All
across
right.
the various xenobiologists in the FIS. Seeing who qualifies.
God. Reason medicine, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I think that I am just going to jump straight to spending a determination on Directive 1 because my stats are terrible.
Okay.
I have a 10 total in recent medicine. So I'm just going to spend a determination towards that for the value I'm the voice of the Federation.
I thought you were spending it toward a directive, but you can do Voice of Federation, I
Oh,
suppose.
right, sorry, not the yeah, directive.
Okay.
I don't know why I also grabbed a value there. I was like, autopiloting? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm just comp checking with
Yourself in
medicine.
station.
Yeah.
That's one more.
Okay, no comp, hit 1. Station is not med.
Oops, I was supposed to peel back one anyway. So scene is
Nothing from station.
stay at 5 essentially.
Yep.
I have returned. I was going to tell you who you could possibly recruit. So
I'm imagining Savage Cast are probably the majority of this pool because if they're like
there's one.
biofocus.
The chief medical officer can do it.
All right.
Dr. Drislan Kalis. They are a xenobiologist, and with a medicine of 4, they're actually pretty good for that particular role.
Yeah, I mean it's entirely possible.
For momentum,
be...
I can look beyond that doctor, but that's the obvious answer: is your own doctor can totally fill that role.
I would like to spend a momentum, yeah, because I would like to broaden this out to the scope of the FIS. To see if there's anyone specifically who has like that shipbuilding intersection, probably.
1 second. So there is an Upentari that would qualify. Just need to get their name for you. But yeah, there's a Upentari Xeno biologist who has issues. Dr. Nonsis Valnor is an Upentari who is known for their, shall we say, unique outlook on aliens that don't conform to their base understanding. So they're xenobiologists almost by they're kind of forced to be, and they kind of became an expert because they study very in depth. They like amorphous species. They understand those very well. So like changeling species or other beings that change their forms, they understand that way better than they do more static forms. And they come from the main Great Slime city of Upentara, which means that they are, for an Upentari, they are very rooted in old traditions of the Upentari and how they are the ones who understand high technology better than everyone else, how they're the ones who have explored the stars first before everyone else. But that said, despite how centralist they can be, is the polite way to put it, they're very centralist, but they are not a real fan of the FIS, martial or otherwise. They're not a huge fan of it. That said, they are very knowledgeable and have they've studied how starships affect Upentari and how various starships affect Upentari. Because they had to learn other ship types, they then became expert in aliens because they had to understand what the baseline for the alien was. Because to know if a life support system is failing, you have to know what it's supposed to support. So they are a reluctant expert in xenobiology, and they're actually, but they are very well versed in it.
Okay. So far, our doctor's looking better. I mean, am I wrong?
You
I
are
would
not.
prefer we don't recruit a racist. Yes.
Hey, now they're a centralist. That's different.
It is pretty incredible that they are in my day-to-day job, I interact with people who are not at all like me, but then as a hobbyist, I hate them very much. It's a very wonderful dichotomy, and I think I would prefer it if this guy stayed in the Great Slime and didn't cause problems on our ship. Okay, wacky trill or whatever the stupid species is that Grunk is from, those are fine. But I don't want this guy getting into fights with them. I think we can just handle the doctor. Yes, this means she has to pull double duties, and she might not like that, but such are the times.
I mean, honestly, at that point, I think I am going to go down and talk to the doctor.
To which doctor?
The station doctor.
I was like, what talking about?
Dr. Callis, I believe.
Yeah, if someone wishes to RP Dr. Callis, this is one of your supports. There's no role to recruit them. They already work on the station.
Yeah. Someone wants to do that?
Sure, I got it.
All right. So I buzz at the doctor's office.
Come in.
Ah, Dr. Callis. I hope I've not caught you at an opportune time.
No. I'm fine. I'm between patients at the moment. Do you have a problem with one of your cybernetics that needs looking at?
No, they're performing well within expectations. Thank you. No, this is a little bit outside of the traditional hesitations, I guess. I'm here to offer you a slightly different job. And Frolics's gonna sit down in whatever's available and pull out a couple pads.
But Rear Admiral, I like my job as it is, and I'll be frank, it's a pretty busy one.
It is. And
It's an important one.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
The FIS and Starfleet are currently working on a joint project for the construction of a large-scale starship that will incorporate the best of both worlds. You stand out as being a xenobiological expert who could help immensely with building out the systems on board.
I don't know anything about engineering. I can give you medical advice, but I will not be of great help designing or working on any part of the ship. I can perform advisory recommendations for what species need for life support. I cannot design a life support system.
That's very true. GM, looking at the requirements for the role, is design of the system needed, or is it more consultation that's required?
Both would be ideal because that takes up load for the other shipwright engineers and designers.
Yeah.
But sometimes in a project, you just need a pure doctor to walk you through the medical requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Because not every engineer went to medical school, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a medical doctor that also happens to be an engineer. But if you can't get that, a medical doctor is better than an engineer who took first aid classes.
Given our difficulty sourcing someone with both the engineering and medical proficiencies required, who doesn't have glaring weaknesses in some other category, I think that being able to...
the person you're talking about. He is quite unpleasant.
Yeah. I think that being purely a medical specialist shouldn't impede the project. We have a glut of engineers who will be happy to design systems within the specifications that you can outline for them.
This cannot cut into my regular duties as ship's medical officer, as their station medical officer. And I expect a pay increase to come with any, well, advisory roles I take on.
There will, of course, be a pay increase. I can't promise that it won't cut into... and that we look into hiring an assistant doctor for the station for the period of this project.
Oh, I've made requests for increasing the staff beforehand. If this is finally what gets that, if that's finally what can get that to happen, then I would be, well, I guess more than happy to participate.
Medicine 4 score, here we go.
Yeah. I'll do what I can to get you supplementary personnel for the duration of the project. I can't make any promises as to afterwards, but for the time being, there's extra resources being diverted to the station.
Then she extends a vine for you to shake.
All right. Shake vine hand. Yeah. Pleasure working with you, Doctor. I look forward to bringing you onto the ship construction team when everyone's arrived. I'll get all the details forwarded to you by end of day. And I'll leave the doctor with a pad explaining the,
Mm-hmm.
the minutiae of the project a little bit more in depth.
It's at this point that I check to see if Kusia is doing anything on their first day of travel en route to their target planet.
Um, how much is known about the planet we're going to?
Give me. Are you looking for a general overview or just like specifics?
That's the question.
There's the knowledge is
I don't
most.
need to. I don't necessarily need to know the specifics at this second, but I need to know how much is known.
The knowledge you'd be looking into, and this is how you knew to look this way, is like you'd be looking up various free trader reports and consulting across the communications network about, like, on a private level, about, hey, what do people know about this person? Because it's not formally charted. It's not FIS territory, and Starfleet hasn't looked into it. It's just at most it's been noted on the nav charts as a location that has planets. But you have some extra knowledge, so you could roll to try to see what you learn ahead of time about the place, beyond the basic information you already got, that they have a lot of iridium, and they do trade with. They are known to travelers. They are known to spacers, at least, and free traders. Like, they're not a major seller of the stuff in that way, but people have gone there to buy iridium from them, but not in the kind of scale you're talking about.
That's wrong.
Reason, command, or con. Difficulty. We'll keep it at 2. You're not asking for anything ridiculous. And your ship can help you with communications plus command or con, because that's you checking in with various people and trying to get in contact with, like, hey, I don't know, but so-and-so knows, sort of thing.
Okay, one momentum. Never mind.
Do you want to try to reroll any of that, or?
I don't have any ability to, and I don't want to spend determination on it.
Very good. Do you want to squash that complication or let it hit?
I'll let it go.
I don't see a reason to make it more complicated, because I'll just take my 2 threat. Yeah, you try to look around in it. Beyond the base information you already got, people don't seem to know a whole lot about this place. Very few people seem to have gone there.
See, this is the problem with going off book. I can't help you.
I'm not going off book. I'm doing exactly what we talked about me doing.
Yes, but you didn't give me enough details for me to be able to assist you with methodical planning, I'm pretty sure. Unless you want to argue that you did.
No, because I didn't know where I was going during the meeting. It's not that I tried to hide it. It's just that I couldn't tell you because I didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. That
I've told
he's going
Carpenter
here
everything
by
I've
secret.
done, except for
Yeah.
how I got that release agreement.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
What's happening is we are investigating leads to find resources. You did not plan go to this specific planet
Yeah,
and do
that's true,
this
actually,
specific
yeah.
thing.
But
In that
even
case-
so,
I might be able to assist you with methodical planning, then.
what would you give me?
I'd give you an assist, which gives you a reroll.
You can't give me an assist because I didn't get at least one.
Oh, yeah,
success.
you're right. Never mind. You have to have 1.
Sure. Then, what I will do instead is yeah, I can't really prepare for what to do when I get to the planet because I don't know anything. So I'm going to throw in a couple of evasive maneuvers. Just come to warp, cloak for a bit, look around, and then, I don't know, 2 or 3 times over the day. Because smuggler instincts, I just don't like being followed. So I want to.
You're pulling like
See
Crazy
who's
Ivan
out
type
there.
stuff, where you're just trying to shake who might be tailing you.
Less of shaking them, more of if anyone is, I want to find out who they are.
Give me presence or control plus command, difficulty 2. And ship would assist with engines plus command, I imagine.
Presence what?
Command or con.
Take a minute.
Certainly. Alright, so far.
That is an actual con. Which I guess I'll use that one and the one off the table to quash. Actually, no, this is well, the reroll goes to me, it doesn't go to the ship, right? From meticulous planning. Well, I
Yep,
didn't tell
yep,
you
it
about
goes
this
to you.
part anyways, so
Yeah.
never mind. Yeah, just spin that.
Yeah, no, you establish advantage of basically you kind of do your maneuvers, and check if anyone is out there. And you do notice that there seems to be a civil freighter that's trying its best to hang as far back as possible that you're barely within their sensor range, but because you're stopping and going in the way you are, they can't sync up with you. So they were kind of flying in your sensor blind spot as best as they could, but now that you've disrupted your path, they don't know they've been made unless you do something, because they're trying to slow down every time you disappear.
Every sign has been that they were following me, not that they just happened to be headed the same direction.
Yeah, no, yes, because because of the check, you probably do it every once in a while. It's like, the first one might be a fluke. Space is big, but sometimes coincidences happen. When it happens, we keep seeing them like 2 or 3 other times. No, space is too big for that many coincidences. They're following you. If they were heading the same way as you, there's other ways to get where you're going. It'd be very unusual to go the exact same way.
Then I want to set up a trap. I want to come out of warp, and I want to wait for them to come out looking, and low power and cloak until we get close enough that torpedoes couldn't practically miss, which I guess is actually a far thing. It's weird, because you'd think if a ship wasn't moving and you're right next to it, torpedoes would be easy to hit, but the game doesn't really model that. So, but anyways, right, I'm gonna get them in perfect torpedo solution range, and then call them.
This can either be a con roll or a 2 threat to establish the advantage.
I'll do it. If I can suggest a daring con.
I would take daring con, yeah.
All right. I get an automatic success, but my crit range is at 19. looks like 3 successes.
3 successes, only needed 2, so generate 1. I imagine you throw your shields up when you come out and load your torpedoes, or do you keep them down?
No. We're not actually shooting at them, so we're not taking the cloak or putting the shields up. We're just readying the torpedoes so that if we decloak, we can start firing. I guess that part's not mechanical. That's just me role-playing, telling you what we're doing. Right. So.
Yeah. I thought you were decloaking, going aha, but you're actually just kind of stopping. And cloaking.
No. There is the aha, but there's no reason to tell them where I am until I start shooting.
Oh, you're hailing out of cloak, basically.
Hailing in cloak.
Yeah. We're saying the same thing, just differently.
Okay.
So they try to. There is that moment of, because you stay cloaked a little longer this time, and then there's this very moment of them slowing down and trying to do a very subtle, as subtle as you can in a freighter, a subtle search pattern to see where you went, because it's entirely possible you sped up or you've ducked into something or whatever. Like, they could have just lost sensor contact, but they're trying to play casual about it, and they kind of drift into your long range after a while. Like, they've been trying to stay at extreme or extreme +1 the whole time, but they can't. But to find you, they have to keep drifting closer and closer to a cloaked target. Now in deep space, there's no easy way to see you.
Then I will open hailing frequencies and say, "This is Captain Kushi of the SS Gilded Star. You have a short amount of time to explain yourself or detonate."
Give me presence command. It is a post.
Determination, always expect the unexpected, because until I just decided to check the baffles on my own, you never mentioned any risk of that.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Oh, hold on. Is there a chance to rewind 2 seconds to try something? I forgot one of my talents since I haven't rolled.
Sure,
yet.
yeah.
I want to try and use before I do that. I have a starship recognition talent.
So you want to give it a look over before you give your ultimatum, because it'll probably change if you learn what they are.
Yeah. It is called. I know what it's called. It's called Starship Expert.
It's one of the rare times I've seen someone use Starship Expert. A cool talent when you get to use it.
I figured it was a pretty good talent for a smuggler.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the few Con 4+ talents that is worth anything.
Supposedly they're changing how that's going to work in second. They're going to get Con more cool things to do.
Yeah. Them and the writers of every Star Trek TV show ever.
Yeah, that's a real case of I'll believe it when I see it. Because, Con is just kind of weaker because it covers a way more specific subject matter than the other ones. It's hard to get around that.
Okay. Then, yeah, so it doesn't do anything to the task. It just does something if I succeed on the task. So I would need a task to identify the starship.
That would be reason plus con, difficulty 2, assisted by sensors plus con. Because you can see them, so it's easy to give them a scan and take a look at what your scanners are telling you. And you are putting together extra information in between that information.
All right. I'm going to... I'm gonna ask if someone could have Alan help me, because his reason's a lot better than mine. But I will give you a threat.
Sure. So, what do I need to know about Alan?
He's a Sung type. I guess yeah. I don't think you've ever encountered
The original.
me when I
yeah.
played it. Yeah, so he's a Sung type. They come defaultly with emotion chips, but they are still pretty outcome focused and is originally built to be an assassin, but in this case, he's taken up a life as an engineer.
All right. What are we doing?
Well, I would suggest you RRU for Reason Engineering but Reason Con is the.
You're identifying a
Thanks, Will.
starship.
Do not know how I can argue reason engineering there.
You're not the main roller, so if I'm like trying to figure out the starship from its silhouette and its like energy output or something, you could be helping from a perspective of like, well, if you're seeing this energy, then it's this engine type, and that would be engineering.
Yeah. I
think.
see. I thought I was the main roller there. So
No.
yeah, I'll argue for reason engineering as an assist.
You can do that, yeah.
Okay.
Not an actual comp. I need to go fix that later.
2 and 3. 2 generates 1. That ship on the outer edge, on the frame of it makes it look like it does have the trait freighter. It is a civil freighter on first glance and first scan, but more in-depth look at it shows that rather than having phaser banks, which are rather standard among civil freighters just for self-defense, mining, that sort of thing, this thing has disruptor banks and plasma torpedo launchers. And seems to have a non-class M life support systems, indicating that this. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask if it was a role to put all those facts together, or.
That would indicate it is Tholian made or a Tholian helped build it. Well, actually, it's Tholian made because only Tholians build their build in this configuration. But the outer shell doesn't look like a Tholian freighter.
It could be Tholian made, but it has to be being used by Tholians because if it was being used by anyone else, they would have converted the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have converted themselves to the texture of barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very effective.
Or like the carbonized remains of barbecued chicken.
Yeah, you ever see The Empire Strikes Back? It's like that.
I just realized.
Have
So
you ever seen this old movie, Empire Strikes Back?
So what's your cool thing for your starship recognition?
I get a free bonus that can be used for obtain information or to create or half the cost, one towards the cost of an advantage representing a weakness in the ship.
Oh.
Which I will do. Can I create the advantage that I know the timing on the shield emitters, so if I initiate the attack, even if they have put up shields, they wouldn't have had enough time to have an effect before a first salvo?
I'll take that, sure. Because at the moment, they wouldn't have their shields up right away, because shields are a way to increase your energy signature. It makes you're setting yourself on fire on a radar, on a LiDAR sort of thing. But yeah, you know the timing that the minute they flicker it on, you're like, oh, well, I can just fire it before they power on.
Which
properly.
I guess it means if you tell me they're turning their shields on, that's...
You can preempt.
I would have to use disadvantage then or let it go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then okay. Then I'll redo that hill. I'll say, actually I'll rephrase it to say, Tholian ship.
Mm-hmm.
This is the SS Gilded Star. I'm Captain Kushia. You will explain yourself or I will be forced to take hostile action. If you attempt to leave or raise shields, I will take hostile action preemptively.
Presence
And
come
this
in.
is the roll.
Yep, and you will get an advantage on this because you know something that they didn't think you were going to know. Because it's not obvious that they're Tholian without someone actually properly looking over their schematics.
All right, and this is the task that I'm going to spend determination on.
I'll spend 8, Brett. Keen to just tell you what I am, but I don't know. I don't like that you know I'm a Tholian. That's not great news. I almost don't want to succeed on this, but I do have to try, because otherwise I don't get to be captain anymore. Oh, buddy.
He put in some work, but I don't think he's going to 5.
1, 2, 3. Got 3 hits, and you generate 5, so you gain 2 momentum. You are being offered an on-screen reply, but you can keep it audio.
Would that affect my ability to remain undetected? Like, would it give them any advantage in detecting me?
Based on what you scanned of them, no. Some ships might have specialized ways of locating people that way, but their ship's not designed for that.
Okay, then I'll allow the view screen.
On the view screen, you see, I would say typical, but most people don't deal with Tholians like this. You see a Tholian bridge with various crystalline...
It just looks like a hellscape, right?
Yeah. Nothing but intense gases, bright red lights everywhere, and these crystalline monstrosities to humanoids just kind of in their space, one dominating the screen. And you see the light of them flicker, and you hear the noises of that Tholian rumbling way of talking, and then the translator picks up on it, because it's not like Tholian's an unknown language by any means. No, where's my starship name? There it is. I am Captain Brixall Nerix of the starship Night Star Voyager. I am currently operating under a contract with a consortium of Te to shadow your movements, which I believe I have currently failed, as you have seen me. I have no orders or contract to engage in combat with you.
What do they want to know?
My understanding, they want to know where you are going and what your ship is doing. I was not given leave to follow any away teams, but since that would risk you seeing my vessel. Though a pay increase was offered, that wasn't part of the normal contract, given the difficulty of following your vessel in the first place, which I have seemed to have underestimated.
All right. Well, if you wanted to convince me why I should let you go and why letting you go won't cause me problems, you should start now.
I believe that you will be able to, even if I were to continue shadowing you, I would likely be rediscovered, and upon second encounter, I believe would be engaged in combat. Our vessels have similar destructive power, but I have not secured payment for such repair or replenishment of my torpedoes. Thus, I have no interest in engaging in combat with you. I'll simply have to absorb the loss for breaching contract. I cannot guarantee another vessel won't attempt to follow you in the future. I can tell you that the Nightstar Voyager will unlikely be assigned to the task again with this failure. I will likely be assigned to do some other activity task.
Never dealt with the consortium. I guess it's not their way to kill contractors who fail.
They'd rather find me and make me do unpleasant work for lower pay. Why kill what can be used?
You know what? I agree with them on that. So, how about I find you and give you the unenviable work of going home?
The eyes, question mark, the eyes narrow? What sort of fine?
Jim, this is where I'm going to ask to negotiate, hopefully to bleed them dry. Just by starting with an absurd number and then negotiating down until they're willing to pay me rather than get shot.
Opposed roll. He's going to. He'll spend a full mint. He wants to spend as little money as possible. But he is going to pay you something, because the alternative is death. But he's going to try to make sure he doesn't get completely ripped off. Because he is a Tholian. He's going to want to... He has some level of honor. Some level of face he needs to maintain to keep his job.
From the merchant ability to momentum to have either an object or an advantage represented by an object, that I have a guide to Tholian negotiating.
I'll take it, yeah.
All right, and how many dice did you buy?
Full mint.
Okay. Then I'll spend 2 and give you 4. Focus in economics?
Yep.
Oh, man. I only have 5.
3, 4, 5, yeah.
Can I
This is a really lucky roll on my part. God.
Because I negotiated the hiring of Grunk last episode. Can I use the milestone from that?
You can, yeah.
All right.
You also try and tap for methodical planning here if you want.
I don't know how you would have any. And there's no way I'm ever telling you this happened.
Yeah, that's basically my negotiation here. I'm like, if you tell me this happened.
No, I'm not going to tell you this happened.
Okay.
I will spend a determination on always out to make some credits.
Yeah.
What I will tell the Admiral is that I engaged in profit-making activities on the way, and
Jeez.
Hey, deniable
And
assets
therefore-
have to stay deniable.
And therefore, that time should be taken off of the invoice
Yeah.
presented to Starfleet.
that's only fair. I mean, these guys are going to pay 20 times what Starfleet pays, I imagine. So I don't really care. That's 7.
Gain your 1. Roll for me 5 challenge dice. This isn't extended. This is just determining how much extra they're giving you. 2, 3, 4, 5. I was going to do at least your scale in momentum because bigger ship, bigger prizes. Currently, a rather the base amount in momentum, as it were, in opportunity would be at least 3 because it's your scale. Actually, what's your security? 5 or more? Or 4?
No,
4 or more.
because
Sorry.
it's not even that, because this is a fleet reserve ship. It intentionally
Low
Starfleet's,
security.
not given it its full, complement of targeting computers or whatever. So it is only security 3.
Okay, so yeah, your base rate's 3, but you just because of your size, but you garner an extra 4, 5, 6 on top of that, as they offer to pay a large chunk of it in the Latinum and Duskar they already have aboard, and then they offer to either give a Ferengi banknote for you to collect at an Aurelius or a Ferengi aligned bank to withdraw more from them, or in Federation credit. They do have some in Federation credit, but they don't know which one you want more. But they only have the amount you've pulled out of them. Basically, pulled out all of his personal, like the shipboard reserve. He has to point you to a bank to take more from him.
All right, we'll accept the Ferengi notes, and I'll assuming they're not going to make any fast moves, I'll drop the cloak and organize the transfer with them. Can I use 2 on the 3 on the table and 1 out of the pool for a double advantage on Latinum reserves? Because I'm going to want that when I get to this planet. In fact, a good point to make: if I make this advantage and if you accept it, will it persist long enough for me to get to the planet? Because I don't know if I'll get there tonight.
I'll say you basically have 2 advantages that can be spent. Like, normally advantages persist, but these ones will be things you spend. So you have 2 assets, wrong game. 2 advantages worth of having an exceptional amount of wealth. Because you do have like bricks on bricks on bricks and promissory notes. Like you have a lot of money sitting in your cargo by the end of the transfer. And Duskars as well, because they run out of platinum after a while. Again, most of our stuff's in land. We do have some Klingon Dust Guard, just in case, but because who knows?
They keep all of it in a refrigerated compartment.
Yeah. I believe that is the full amount we've agreed upon, Captain Kusia.
Kusia says it is, and I'm going to add an amendment onto the agreement that you are going to stay here for 24 hours.
Just stay stationary in this location for this many time cycles. This can be agreeable.
Then Kusia will smile and cut the comms. Take us into warp, and change direction a couple of times as we're getting to the edge of sensor range.
You do see they put up their shields once you get to long range, but otherwise they don't move. And eventually you see them a bit longer because their shields are up, and eventually you lose contact.
I'll send a coded transmission back to Commander Carpenter saying have engaged in some profitable business unrelated to the project, so will not be billing for these specific time cycles, and as an minimum, the Consortium of Tay is aware of the project and is shadowing your subcontractors.
Okay, dumb question. Which one are the Consortium of Tay again?
That's the ones that Kovik's going on a secret mission about.
Okay.
I'm riding on one of their ships right now.
They don't even have to shadow you. They know where you're going.
Yeah, no. I will send the message about the Consortium of Tay up the chain because it seems to be the most important part, and simply state and acknowledged, and leave it at that. Because quite frankly, while I would love to find out exactly what you're doing and pin you to the wall for it, I know that I can't do that right now, so I am choosing to not think about it as little as I can.
When I get that up the chain, I will do QACs do like text communications?
They can, yep.
Cool. I'm going to send that in text medium to Kovik's communicator, and appended with a recommendation to relay to the rest of his delegation, I suppose. But since it's through his communicator that they're
Which
hiding the
Kovik
system.
will do.
Yep.
What will Kovik do? Sorry.
Forward that text to Rylov, Talora, and
Okay.
The rest.
In the middle of the Consortium of Tay ship, I love you learn that the Consortium of Tay is watching you.
Right.
I mean, that was kind of expected anyway. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, but like the additional context that they do have some knowledge of the project.
Oh, that's great. We're
Yeah.
not here for the project.
Yeah, but you're
They
still
don't know
part
that.
of the project.
They probably think
Oh.
you're on part of the project right now.
Yeah, so if you can throw them with this, with this additional knowledge, you can throw them off. You'll
Yeah,
free.
just do it like when you get to this military planet, do a bunch of purchases and stuff.
Mhm.
Right.
I go to do the
Well,
least
yeah, or-
scummy, like most honest things possible, and y'all are like, but do the Romulan stuff every
No,
time.
I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling Kovic to do this. Kovic's in
Hey,
charge
you-
of security.
You say that, but I
You have
offered to
to.
fly you to this planet on a starship illegally like a month ago. So sometimes we
have
With
to.
we
far
allow you to
less
do evil
evidence and
things.
basis. So
What you have to do, Kovic, is order a bunch of things that don't make any sense for what starship we're building. Like order like several metric tons worth of like ceramic. Like and then we'll throw them off because they won't understand what kind of starship we're developing. That's
Yeah.
You got to think in 4-dimensional terms.
just package the atmosphere that hurts jellies.
Point of fact, I have a con of 1. I don't understand what kind of starship we're
You're
building.
perfect for this job.
Yeah, exactly. You're perfect for this.
We need some, I don't know, canvas and hemp rope.
We need
Look,
10 tons of rutabaga. It's for the ship.
look, enemy spies can't understand what we're doing if we don't understand what we're doing.
Anything that I believe the movement of the ship was started by Kovic. Yeah, Kovic. Rylef, is there anything you're doing on that first day of travel?
Yeah, probably making sure that my runabout is hard to fuck with.
You
I
brought
don't
it on
want
the
any of these
express.
little bastards getting the good idea.
Oh, you're doing with it remotely, like you're trying to make sure it's not stealable off of Halanak or something.
No, I thought we were bringing the runabout on the Swiftwind so that we could get it there because he still wanted a cloaked vessel. Were they not transporting the ship as well?
That's what I thought was happening.
You would need a ship that had extended shuttle bays that could fit a ship that big. It's a scale 2
Take
vessel.
your
a
shuttle
shuttle.
instead.
I do have the shuttle instead.
Okay. Oh, so you do have a scale 1. Okay. They can fit a scale 1 easily, but if you wanted someone with extended shuttle bays, that's a special order because most people don't have that.
That's fair. But yeah, I thought we were chartering something that would let us have a little cloaked vessel to poke around in.
Which one's your shuttle again? I know it's not the Liviana.
It's
The
the
Rita?
one that everyone's seen already. The Rita.
The Rita? Okay.
Either way, I don't want some Tay person being like, you know what? I'm just going to access those systems. No.
Control security, you set the difficulty that you're shooting for, and that's what Op 4 is going to be rolling against.
Yes.
Because of course
Shockingly,
Consortium Tay would try to
yes.
mess with your shuttle if it was aboard.
Yes, exactly.
I can assist.
You certainly can. Yeah.
Sure. I'm naturally going for a 5, because I can't actually try to set it higher than that.
No. Limitations of physics and all that. Pesky physics. That's why you should be Q. You don't have to worry about this stuff. Or an inheritor. If you're using inheritor tech, you could totally break 5.
We should have brought Vin.
Yeah.
No, we
Note
shouldn't.
yourself, always bring Vin.
No,
Always bring Vin.
A
and you
wet
could
paper
set-
bag would fall from the ceiling and you would die.
No, you just set messing with Ven at difficulty 7.
Oh yeah. Precautions focus.
Yeah.
I would normally say Star Navy protocols, except apparently some of these people have been in the Star Navy.
Yeah.
Are there Klingons on this ship?
Let's find out together. Yes.
I have mistrust Klingons.
As
if
a
I'm shooting
trait?
them as up for, is that a benefit? Yeah, it's a trait.
I'll increase your complication because that could show you overreacting. If you want a
That's fair.
Klingon only ship, I'd give it as advantage because then your paranoia would be justified. But for all you know, that Klingon, he might see into it. That's the janitor. Are you sure? Yes, that's our janitor. Please stop staring at him.
Who has a Klingon janitor?
I do.
Consortium of Tay, apparently.
Meaning is very honorable. It's about the defeat of German crime in open combat using acids. What is more noble than that? Huh?
House of Gita has a dedicated janitor training program because they're always falling off the goddamn walkway.
I love that that's a part of the tile set Modifius threw out. I was like, there's just death walkways in these things. Like,
Right,
oh,
it's just
okay,
a bottomless
Modifius,
pit,
thanks for
yeah.
that. That's
You
awesome.
just, put in some good music and start mopping the floor, and you just
Right.
walk off one day.
It's like Viscera cleanup detail.
There's railings.
It does have the strange knock-on effect where Sapita cleaners are some of the best in the Empire and are
Right,
well
right.
renowned for it.
You get lots of practice from all the killing. Well, you'd think, but
In a manner of speaking, yes.
No, it's because we have to train
Mostly
redundant.
They
talent.
have amazing spatial awareness.
learn to balance
Um,
or die.
I'd mention subtle as a trait for even if it doesn't help with the roller difficulty.
To
It's,
janitors.
It will
kill
help with-
100% of germs.
You can either pull down the complication I just pulled up or give yourself a free hit, because subtle does mean that they might not notice that you went down there to do something, or they may not know that you did anything other than just a standard flight check.
that was the intent. It's like they have less reason to try hard because I clearly didn't put anything on there. I'm fine with complication. We'll give that a free hit. And you know what?
What?
Oh, you got 5. Never mind. That didn't work as well. Ooh, that is not great for me at the moment.
Oh, I might not. Oh, that's
Two
really good.
19s. I can fix this. Don't worry.
Sorry, no help from me.
Typical. The police just aren't of any help when you need them.
Naturally.
Well,
Okay,
I
well, you
mean,
gotta
if
do
you were a
practice.
college kid protesting on campus,
Uncomfortable. There's an add-on to that joke. I'm gonna leave it alone because too
Now,
soon.
I don't think the first mission. I mean, actually, the first mission directive could potentially. Vaguely. Let me double check it because I need to make sure I'm not misremembering it. Strengthen relations. Not really, kind of. No. No. You can't sit around and wait for help as a value.
True.
To do 2 of those. And then I have, it was a security roll. They really tried to complicate. 3.
6 hits. I'm not mistaken.
7.
7, yes. Oh, I have to buy dice because if you failed, I didn't need to roll at all because there's failed to hide anything.
And that's, does the ship itself help with that or no?
No.
Yeah. Uh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
oh, really? Damn. See, this is why I wish I'd set the difficulty higher than 5.
I gain 2 threat. Saturninov does his utmost to make this thing very hard to mess with, but unfortunately, down the line, something will have likely happened to that shuttle. What that is precisely, he does not know. But whatever it is, it's something he didn't expect. Because difficulty 5 of you setting up something means you're looking out for lots of things. I will tell you for free, it won't be something super obvious. Like, it won't be like just like a car bomb or something that blunt. Because presumably you would be looking for that anyway. It'd be something a lot more obscure, a lot more edge case. Insidious, yeah.
Does that mean it's probably also not just a tracking device?
So, a brand new day. We look back to Halanak Station. This is day 4. This is the last day before. Oh no, it isn't. 1, 2, 3. This is day 4 now. Yeah. I think no. Yeah, I said there's 3 days left, so this is day 1, day 2. There's one more day left until a meeting. So tomorrow's the meeting day.
All right.
Okay. What resource is Kusia going after of the list?
Iridium,
Iridium.
which is a material we need.
Yeah, hold on. Okay. We need benamite, rhodinium, and nitrium. Are the other 3. Can I use Federation contacts, and I want to look around and see if I can ship any of that on the same vessel that I am shipping or on the other same vessels that we are shipping the crew to get here. Like on that same trip, can I get like a supply of any of those to come in the cargo hold?
You want to see if any
Any of the 3.
let's call that reason or insight plus command difficulty 3 assisted by computers plus command.
See, this is how you do skilled logistics. You don't have a bunch of bespoke ships carrying their own loads, but rather you consolidate things into one load.
Yeah.
Reason command. All right. A focus in bureaucracy again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna spend 3 momentum and hope for the best. All right, I'll re-roll the 0 with cautious. And would you look at that? 4 or 5. Get 2 momentum back.
Plus station.
Yep. Sorry. Grabbing station.
I scrolled away from what I needed to be reading.
Here's.
More. Nitrinium is easy to do because it's something that's already moved around in the pipeline anyway. So you just requisition. Hey, could you just grab some? And I'm requisitioning some. Grab it on your way here. It's like, yeah, we can do that. Rhodinium would cost at least 2 opportunity to pay for to basically buy it off of a Federation distributor, because it is one of those things that isn't on hand, but it is something that through the commercial network you can get. As for benamite, benamite is something that is you would have to you wouldn't be able to get on the same ship. You'd need to get a contract. You'd either need to do a purpose search for a distributor of benamite in the Federation, or you'd have to go if you wanted to get a lot faster, because there's a lot of layers of bureaucracy to move something like that. If you wanted a lot faster, you'd need to talk to a private seller like a Ferengi or Free Trader or Klingon.
It sounds like something our local smuggler can handle.
And
okay, so
in
what
fact,
was-
I would
Go ahead.
suggest asking that.
Okay, yeah, that would okay. So remind me again, nitrium was the first one you said, and how could that be found?
That's just something that's part of your role. You can just add that on, because that's part of the normal pipeline of repairing ships. It's a very numerous and useful resource that they basically always have.
Okay, and we can get the rhodinium for 2 momentum, so I might as well spend that. And with one last one, I will ask the question of, can I dig up anything locally, like a local commercial source for the last one, which is benamite? Or is that a different role?
No, that's an information role. You could ask that. So the Aurelius Consortium could would likely be able to do it because he has his Ferengi contacts plus the Klingon contacts he has in the High Council. So if he can't get it, he knows someone who has it. Consortium of Tay could probably get it. They might not have it on hand, but you could hire them to go get it from somewhere. As for within the FIS, it is possible that you could get if you can get a planetary survey done with to examine each of the planets, you might be able to find it on one of the 3 member worlds. It's not something the FAS looks for because they don't use Benamite, so it's not something. Well, actually no. Oh wait! Kick myself. What am I doing? I'm wrong. I got it the other way around. Benamite is one of the key components of the quantum slipstream drive. That's how you develop a quantum power drive. So here on Upantar you can get it, but you would have to negotiate with the minister. I think it's the Minister of Trade or Minister of Commerce, the relevant minister, to allocate that to the project. Like you wouldn't need to. You couldn't really buy it. It's not a matter of money. It's whether or not it is. You have to prove to them this is you giving them giving you this material is a benefit to the FAS as a whole. And they can source it from their 3 member worlds because Benamite is something they use.
Okay, so I can get Benamite through the FIS contacts. Okay.
Yep.
Then I will leave my competitor to track down Iridium, as I've handled 2, and when the next I have free time, I will handle the supply of the 3rd resource.
Uh-huh.
I'm just waiting for the wedding episode between these 2.
Yeah, so when I said you should do that, I meant you should call and ask for help because I have the Ferengi banknotes, but you could just do something entirely different.
Well, if the species for whom we are graciously being hosted with has it in spades, I don't think this will be a hard thing to requisition from them.
It's never hard to get something from someone other than Arillis until you've been stabbed by Arillis for doing that.
I will drop the next pin onto Thralic or Ven.
I'm not sure what I'm doing right now, so if you know, then
I'm
go
in a
for it.
similar boat. If only just because I feel like I have more questions, but I'm struggling to find a way that Ven can ask them.
As a thought, Thralic, for you,
Yep.
you might look into the details about that ship.
No,
You might be able to find out details of other ships like it. Especially I doubt we want heavily armed merchant ships that are only heavily armed on second look, right? Docking here, so just a thought.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna ask next.
Take it away then.
So here's the thing that I'm curious about. Has Starfleet or the Federation come across any of these other Inheritor facilities before and just not recognized it as Inheritor?
How do you look to learn that information?
From Trailblazer.
Trailblazer, when you ask him, says they have. It is highly classified information. It is not widely known in the Federation of these encounters, due to the temporal nature of the civilization.
Okay, that makes sense. I would be very surprised if this were the first, and I assume that due to the very I don't want to say public, but the very abrupt and sudden nature at which this technology became known and the manner in which it became known, that's why this one hasn't been made classified.
Well, you say that, Lieutenant, but
This
The-
is about
you-
to be made classified, isn't it?
it already has been. If people look up the information, they will know that there is the most people will learn is that there is a high technology artifact on Opentar. But specific name, specifics of the inheritors, all of that is scrubbed from Memory Alpha. Now, whether or not free traders and such peddle in the information, that is a task for Starfleet Intelligence and Security to handle.
So then, are there other people within the Federation that have similar knowledge bases to me? Maybe not necessarily because they are inheritor, but simply due to being in close proximity to these classified projects?
There are some people with that level of clearance, Some that are specialized like yourself do exist, but there are some like myself who deal in classified high technology sources. I tend to get read into Iconian technology discoveries, for example. Although I am an expert on the topic, as you know, but not everyone
So
knows
then I
that.
presume that some of them have been read into my situation then,
I would presume so.
right? Well,
Especially if they're on the lookout for it. Like, I was already watching your file. So if anyone was watching for inheritor technology encounters, they would get first information. Though higher ranks would be informed first. I know, I can tell you that from protocol. But sometimes even a civilian might be informed if they are considered of high enough need to know.
all right. Okay, that answered some of my questions regarding how Starfleet and the Federation sees this technology. Because, well, it seems that Starfleet was almost ready for this as an eventuality.
As they teach in the academy, one has the primary plan, the secondary plan, and the tertiary plan.
Where are we now?
So far, we're still in the primary stage, I believe.
Okay.
Because we caught it first. The primary plan is to seek out, as part of our exploration directive, is to seek out new life and new civilizations. And part of that extends into things like this. We look for especially strange technology, so there's existing protocols. It gets more complicated when someone else finds them. Although, I can imagine a certain admiral back at command, wearing the same uniform as you and I, may already be activating the secondary plans, given that the Opentari are being given access to it, and I imagine that particular admiral is very upset with the decisions made here.
Out of character, is this Grennan?
No, each major department of the Federation is represented at the Admiralty all the way at HQ. So there's your gold shirt admirals, your blue shirt admirals who represent the highest rank of that department.
Right. Cool.
It's the sort of name Ven would never need to think about because it's so beyond his rank, because it's such a wide-ranging admiral. They're the ones that talk to the Joint Chiefs are the ones that talk to the Council. So he's mentioning one of them is probably aware of the situation.
Okay, that's... Yeah, part of it is because, and I'm sure you're aware of this, my security, not my clearance, but my security value has been raised.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be worth knowing what other polities out there are aware of this technology as inheritor technology.
For that, you'd need to consult with our counterparts in the Klingon Defense Fleet and whatever remains of the Romulan Navy that's willing to tell us anything.
Well, okay, in that case, I'm gonna have to bring that to the Admiral and Rylov whenever he returns.
If he returns.
Teehee.
Tee hee hee. Hee hee
Well.
hoo hoo.
That's one way of looking at it.
Okay. I think then. Hang on. I feel like I had one more question,
Mm-hmm.
and it's on the tip of my tongue.
Tip of your tongue's part of your anatomy.
Yeah. Any of you guys have anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'll do for now. I think Ven just really wanted to get a sense of the scope of the inheritor technology as it exists on the current galactic stage.
Very good.
Because it's quite possible that that's going to become an issue for him.
I rotate to Thralic.
All right, I am going to work on the Starfleet side of security for probably this has to do with some assignments for the Da Vinci in local area space, as well as just a couple of like clearance things around town and station for doing some double checks for ships that are not what they appear to be, primarily focusing on concealed weaponry systems.
Reason security, difficulty opposed.
All right.
Buying a full MIT, just letting you know now. I really don't want
yep.
you to find out about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see.
We don't have to see. We can.
Mm-hmm. Focus in strategy and tactics here.
Yeah.
Is there some way you can get an assist from the Da Vinci on this?
That's a good question.
Sensor security, I'd say.
That's what I wanted to hear, because that's going to help with the difficulty.
Yeah, that's going to lower the diff by 1.
Yeah, because the Da Vinci's got the advanced sensors.
Yeah.
Well, hey, they still helped.
Yeah.
Just by being involved.
Just by being involved, they help. Yeah, just like me. Argument, actually, since the Da Vinci is here, can we parlay Slim's sensor silhouette into any sort of advantage? Because they might not detect that the Da Vinci is on patrol if they have to have active countermeasures.
Although the slim sensor silhouette is something that has to be activated.
Yeah.
And it,
I would allow it to give it an advantage, but you would also increase complication by 2 because you could cause an incident that someone overreacts to the cloaked vessel.
Not cloaked. It's with some sensor silhouette.
A ship you didn't see before appears next to you at medium range. It seems to be trying its best to hide from you. What do? What? By the way, it's like scale 5. I don't know how you missed it.
Yeah, sure. I'll take it. Advantage and comprehension 3. Yeah.
Because someone might get itchy trigger fingers and actually shoot at the darn thing. Go, ah, oh wait, I'm not being attacked. And then Da Vinci's like, okay, you shot at me. I'm not mad,
Yeah.
but like that kind of screwed up what I was trying to do.
Wouldn't be the
Yeah.
first time the Da Vinci accidentally killed civilians.
Yes, but it would be the first time under my command.
Officially.
No, you were mission commander.
The Admiralty trying to kick the bucket down river. I see how it is. I'm mixing my
Yeah,
metaphors.
exactly.
Don't mind me, everybody.
I'm assuming flag officer is making this deployment possible.
Yeah, because you're able to make multiple ships all move, so there's no multiple command checks and all that happening.
Exactly. Just wanted to double check that. I believe that is everything in terms of traits. Yeah, I don't think the circumstances are extreme enough for Hoplite Commander, and I think that Decorated Military Family... Actually, Decorated Military Family might cut against me here, does it?
It won't help or hurt you.
Okay. Then I will buy back a full grip as well with threat. You actually, I'll use a medal. I'll roll and see how much you get.
Roger.
Okay, -2.
4.
I've used 1 for my 2 conspicuous gallantries. Alright, rolling 5. I have 2 hits already.
Ooh, I don't like that. 2 hits. And our comps
All
kill
right,
each
that's
other.
5 hits from me then.
3 momentum generated. My threat cancels out my comp cancels out yours.
Okay.
There are at least 7 ships that regularly come and go into your dock that have similar sensor baffling or design manipulation to hide that they're fighting ships.
Yeah.
And at least one of them is a major trade ship with the FIS. It does a lot of business. It's basically the Sword of Taste Kusya, to put it that way. They're the major trader for, whereas the other ones come and go. But this is and it's easy for them to be shooed away just go somewhere else. But this one's pretty important to the FIS.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to loop in the Harmonizer's office on this because it's become a matter of FIS as well as Starfleet security. Unfortunately, the Harmonizer isn't here. But I will talk to his second.
Who's second there, Kovic?
Rulan.
Yeah, it's Rulan.
He falls under. There he is. Boop.
All right. So I will ask for a meeting with Rulan.
Of course, Admiral. How can I help you?
We, under suspicion from a report from Merchant Kusya, we have evidence collected that there are these 7 ships that are operating in FIS space with hidden weaponry.
Are any of them currently docked at the station?
Oh, that's a good question. GM, are any of them currently docked at the station?
By sheer happenstance, they all are either docked or they're in orbit of Opentar.
Yes, actually, we have all of the suspected craft in the system in one way or another.
And do you want to seize these craft?
Well, this is why it becomes my job to loop in the Harmonizer's office. I believe that direct action against them is more your department than mine. They haven't made any threats on the station yet.
If they have not, is there a particular FIS law about hiding the fact that your ship has weapons on the books?
Reason security, difficulty 2, assisted by station's computer security.
FIS law is a focus.
Yep.
I would like to assist if I can.
Certainly can.
Okay, I'll use the momentum for a third die.
May I make an argument for present security here, for rallying the necessary forces at my disposal?
This is more just knowing the law. You're not mobilizing anything. This is just asking, is this illegal?
All right, then it'll just be reason security.
I might take insight as well. That's better.
Yeah, I'll take insight instead. It's one better. Assist here. You do not get a reroll from my advisor challenge because that's specifically command or presence related.
2 momentum generated.
Bill, game 2.
Plus ship station, sorry.
Yeah, and yep, station plus a bonus because the bonus doesn't care what stuff I use, so we are floating.
Oh, you do have a float.
Momentum as well. Yep. Your security. And one from the station.
The FES does not is not as strict about weapons on ships as the Federation is. The Federation does not like torpedoes on civil craft. That is they consider that a military resource. FIS does not care if you have torpedoes, phasers, disruptors, whatever you need to defend yourself from the dangers, that's fine. But if you're gonna have it, you have to declare it. So we know you have them, so we know what kind of threat level you are. If you hide that from us, it works against the idea of vital information we need to know. So it works. It's not like, and if you're caught using it in FIS space and it was undeclared, it changes. It escalates the charge. It exasperates it. Well, not exasperate. There's a term in law. Aggravates the crime.
Aggravates.
Because it's one thing for you to shoot at a ship and damage it, but it's a whole other thing if you shot at it and you didn't tell us you had that torpedo in the first place.
So how many of these ships are docked at the station and how many are in space around Upantar?
I would say 4 of them are in orbit, 3 of them are docked. You wish to
So,
spend that float for anything, by the way, before we go away.
Oh, yeah.
No. So it's technically your float.
Oh. There's just the one of it plus the 5 we earned.
Plus
Yep.
the 5
Okay.
you have on the
Is the Da Vinci here?
It would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to create the advantage using that float and one more that a squadron of the I forget what the defense fleet is also
Steel
in
fleet.
system. Steel fleet is also
Well,
in
the
system.
FIDF, the Steel Fleet's part
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
that. That I do not see how that relates to you knowing the law.
Oh, knowing the law. Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot what that role is all about. Then, for me, knowing the law when I've got these ships pretending they don't have weapons. The advantage is that it's really easy to get a warrant or whatever official position permission I need if we decide to act against these ships.
Yeah, Rilon recalls the specific fast track you can use.
Right.
It has to do,
Well,
and you realize it has to do with the number. If it was just one ship, the fast track isn't available. But if there's a certain threshold of like 2 or more ships, then it turns into the urgency goes high because there's a chance of escape.
If you're hiding weapons and stuff, is the general procedure to, you get a warning and a fine, or is it, we seize your ship because we don't know what you're up to?
You are. That's a momentum spent. Actually, that's information.
Okay.
You would. It is left to harmonizer discretion, but warning is always on the table. Harmonizers could be very generous about it if they think it's an honest mistake or something like that, or it's a cultural thing. It's like, okay, we understand, but please don't do that again, or we will. But standard procedure is a fine. And all ships must be subject to a in-depth scan or an on-ship inspection to search for other things that may or may not be on there because you're supposed to declare, and then we might scan you real quick anyway, but we trust your declaration. If your declaration's false, we don't trust anything you tell us now. We're going to verify every nut and bolt on your ship.
So basically, your ship's impounded until we do a full custom search, and you're fined.
And if you attempt to flee, it's considered a hostile act, and the FIDF is authorized to engage in at harmonizer discretion is authorized to take hostile action because they can't act in a police action without a harmonizer saying please do so.
Rear Admiral Thralak, I would like to formally request the Federation's assistance under the Halanak agreement in detaining and temporarily impounding these vessels under FIS law for failing to disclose they are holding weapons, particularly those vessels currently in space, until we can perform detailed scans and aboard ship searches. I believe the harmonizers with the ships docked at the station and with your orders to lock the docking clamps, we should be able to board those ships. But for the ships in space, the Da Vinci and any other assets you might have available would be necessary to back up the FIDF.
Of course. Let's get this collaboration started then.
Yeah, let's organize a simultaneous move on all the vessels and loop in the.
Do you want to make a move on them?
Steriana for help.
Do you want to make the move today, or are you going to give it a day to do a slow build? It's 2 momentum if you want to do it right now. Otherwise, it's a slow build of getting all your assets in place and then firing.
If we do a slow build, we risk them getting tipped off and scattering. But if we do it fast, we risk not having what we need in place
Yeah.
for an effective takeover.
Up to you here.
Hmm?
Up to you here.
Up to you here, I believe it is.
Yeah. Okay, Rulan is not quite as impetuous as Kovic, so she is going to prefer the slow build method, while keeping a close eye on the enemy forces in case they look like they're going to rabbit. What's that?
That's the number of ships.
I thought there were 7.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, 1 too many. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go.
So I'd say, I know I don't math, but I math that much.
I'll put you be near. I know one computer one. That's the word.
Do we want to spend maybe 2 more momentum so that we, if they twig and start to do something, we at least have a chance to get the jump on them, even if we're not completely ready?
Yeah, sure.
2 momentum for an advantage of ready to move at a moment's notice if necessary.
Very good.
And Rulan will prepare a broadcast saying, you're violating FIS laws, stand by to be detained, impounded, and searched, blah, 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 when we start to move.
I will then swing the camera over to the following day for Rylov and Kovic to see if they're doing anything while they're traveling. And Kovic, on your QEC, you'd probably be updated unless you turned off your notifications or something.
No, fair enough. That's crappy to be away from the station. I'll probably get yelled at for that, but okay.
That's what a deputy's for.
That's right.
So explain that to the assembly. If things go badly. If things go well, then everything went the way you wanted it to.
Okay, so have a threat for well-informed.
Yep.
Kovic's been, chatting to the crew, just sort of hanging out, eating in the mess, whatever. So let's see what sort of information I may have gleaned from my conversation. What's this crew's regular deal? I mean, what are they mostly doing?
Maintaining ship, maintaining security of restricted areas, playing mall cop to a degree in the common areas, helping out with passengers, making sure no one comes and goes into cargo that shouldn't. If you're going to a small ship, you're going to yours. So Rylov going to his ship they checked that that actually was his shuttle, and once they realized it was, like, okay, they stopped bothering him. Like, they didn't even talk to him. It's one they scanned, they looked at who he is, they checked his biometrics, went, oh, okay, he's the registered owner. But if someone who isn't supposed to go there goes there, that's when security walked up to you and goes, what are you doing? What's your business? That sort of thing. But largely, they're trying to, for the common passenger, they leave you largely alone. There is a section for the consortium crew, and then there's the passenger section, so that is split up.
Okay.
So you're not regular passengers can't go forward, but they can be in the aft compartments, which is closer to the shuttles and stuff like that.
Well, talking to, go ahead.
And I would note that low value cargo is stored with the passengers to a degree. High value is up where the crew is.
Okay. And talking to some of the passengers, I would assume there are some regulars for this sort of transport here and there. Are the consortium of Tay folks known for, how to put it, poking about with things that maybe the passengers would rather they not?
They adhere to contract very strictly. So if the consortium seems to be very strict on identifying what their cause is and what part of the contract allows them to do this. If they don't have a good reason, they don't do it. And those that even attempt to do it get reprimanded rapidly by the other members of the consortium. So new people can be super nosy. The regular consortium, like the veteran consortium, are adhere to contract rather strictly.
So very kind of legalistic, but if there's a loophole and they have a reason to exploit that loophole, they will.
That would be a threat because that would be your third question.
Okay. Never mind then. I was just trying to clarify what you were telling me there. Okay. So yeah, for what little I've learned there, I will inform Rylov of that. Is there anything else? Anything else I'm doing on this day? What else can I do? Well, I theoretically guess I could get Laura to help me hack into their systems.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. She's probably the preferred choice for that.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't be bad to know to get around there and take a look around.
Yeah, I mean, Sindari has signals intelligence, but she's also brand new.
Well, whoever, I mean, you know your people. I lean on to Laura.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's do some systems infiltration.
I would
Sneaky.
say this is daring security difficulty. Normally be 2. I'm gonna up it to 3 because there are a lot of you here, and you're not normal passengers here. So they're paying a little closer attention to you guys than they otherwise would.
We're 90% Romulan.
They have Romulan passengers because you're heading to a Romulan world. It's like, yeah, but we've never seen these 4 Romulans. Who are these people?
Yeah.
Hey, other Romulans, is that a friend of yours? No, that's not a friend of mine. Not that you tell me, but no, really, they're not a friend of mine. Oh, interesting.
Are the pinned directives what are working now?
Yep.
Yeah.
They pull down the directives that that don't apply anymore.
Okay. Increase reliance.
Unless you count this as strengthening relations with the FIS.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, in a manner, I can argue that, but
might be able to establish it under the security procedures for the NX construction, since we know they're terribly interested in things. What do you think, GM?
I wouldn't take it.
Okay.
It's worth asking, though.
Value of law, justice, and the right thing aren't always synonymous.
Yeah, annoyingly.
that's funny.
Okay, so yeah, I'll spend my determination on that value.
That's great.
First time I've got to spend on that value. And
You gave Kusia such a hard time.
I was about to say, did you have that moment, that value in that episode? Because that's not the tone I was getting.
well, that wasn't the right thing. Letting that guy get off with, community service wasn't the right thing. I put my girlfriend on trial for murder. Well, not really my girlfriend. I put the woman I'm interested in on trial for murder. So, anyway, I'm just still waiting to use the value I can sell ice to an Andorian.
Just have to sell ice to Thralic, that's all.
That's right. That's all I got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Don't think any of my focuses actually apply here.
See, the joke there isn't that Andoria is a nice world, but rather that Andoria is a post-scarcity world in which anyone who wants ice can acquire it for free.
I see. I see.
Okay, yeah. So
We have ice
Get
at
free.
home, dear, but I want this ice.
get 2 hits. Yeah, I really want to get into what these guys are doing, so I'm going to be reckless and give you 5 for a full mit.
I'm gonna
Of
up
4.
the difficulty by 1 more because you're really pushing the edge here. You're being daring and risky.
Okay, hard-boiled detective is a trait.
Yeah.
It's pretty daring and risky.
Yep.
Okay.
You're doing the thing that happens in noirs. It's just that you'll be laying down next to a bottle of synthale and roll credits.
Well, yeah, or I get shot in the head.
Well, come on, we can't show that on screen. It's a 50s noir.
You did it first season. Anyway,
Yeah, you already got shot in the head. Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah, but that was a gritty
cynic,
military drama. That's different.
Trait of cynic. Because I know these guys are up to something.
I don't think that makes it easier for you to hack people, though.
Okay, fair enough. So got 3 hits already, and then we're rolling for daring security.
Oh, so, and
So that's
you could either have
7.
Talora or Sundari. Sundari really depends on could they use engineering instead if they're assisting with, say, signals intelligence or computers.
If they're assisting, yeah, I could see it.
Just to actually activate them. Apparently false command because, yeah, oops.
Would 11 have made it?
False command.
An 11 would have made it.
Or 5, you only needed 1, essentially, so 4 is generated.
Just gonna mark that they've been activated because I now need to actually track that.
Yeah, you hack into their system. What do you want to know?
Okay. Who's our best analysis to quickly sift through some stuff and figure out what we need to look at?
That one's easily Talora. I mean, it depends what you're analyzing, actually.
Well, basically, I'm thinking, okay, we've just broken into all their files, but that's got to be a pretty large file structure. So we need somebody to go in and do a pass and figure out what's interesting. And besides what's just, petty
Aren't you good at
crime
skimming
or
through things and finding that out?
what kind of role would that be, GM?
Currently, I'm taking momentum spends for questions.
Yeah.
Oh, well, duh.
This is the we're already in.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, I was complicating it. What I get for thinking cyberpunk lately. Okay.
Mind the rabbits, anyway.
What are their orders towards us, if any?
Observe movements, record such observations, and place tracking and listening devices on their small craft. And on their persons if possible, but the craft is more important. But record your movements, record what you're doing on the ship. Where you get off, where you get on.
Anything? Okay, before I go any further, did I stretch this to be investigating a crime scene or questioning a witness or suspect? Because I am investigating.
I would not say so, because I do not see this as well, no, I would, because this is part of a conspiracy mindset. they are aiding and abetting in a larger conspiracy to look into what you're doing, which under FS law you would have a problem with. So yeah, it would fall under constable.
So and lead investigator too, I would say.
Yeah.
In that case. So 3 extra bonus momentum.
Okay, so you have like 3 bonus questions just sitting out there. And actually, I'll say I took 1 from there because you should have had that already. So you have 1 more momentum on the table than you should. Then you have this is the correct layout now, I should say.
Okay, so what do you think, Rylov? Anything specific we need to ask? What are you interested in?
You know, if they kidnapped him, I really doubt they'd have put him on the passenger list before.
Right.
Makes sense.
Is there in the Belloc system, is there a what to call it, a rendition site that the consortium uses to stash people from time to time?
I'd hand that momentum back to you. That wouldn't be on the Swift One Express's computer.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe a layout navigation charts of known facilities and places in the system.
Yeah, that won't even you only spend 1 to know that.
Okay.
You basically have an advantage, but it only cost you 1 because you pulled it from their database.
Right.
It might be possible, but it might also not work because we don't know how the TA's structure is. If you can pull codes, potentially.
I'd push that back. I'll save you that question.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, any reports that they have planted a tracker on us or the shuttles yet?
Yes, 1 on each view and 1 on the shuttle.
That's good to know.
That's manageable.
Okay, so we've still got some 4 to spend. So, anything about the NX project? Are there orders there regarding there too?
The Swift and Express has nothing specific about the project by name, but they did describe specifically. They don't, not necessarily by name, but like your description and your biometrics. So they had Kovic's biometrics in description and Rylov's biometrics in description as targets of interest that fall on, that have activated this part of the contract, and so they have to act on it. And they follow anyone who is otherwise assisting or seen to be aiding and abetting them. So they weren't just looking for any old Romulan or any old Ioshan. They were looking for you and Rylov in particular. And that's who they were told to start watching. There are other biometrics you see on file. Human Andorian, 2 humans, an Andorian, and a Betazoid human hybrid.
Goodness.
Oh, you know what, Kovic? You're a really friendly person. Why don't you go make friends with some people on the ship? And they might accidentally start tracking all of these people that you're... You know, who knows if they're going to help you or not.
just
you know exactly what I'm getting at.
by pressing them too thin, right? Okay, anything else we want to ask or do while we're in here?
So we know they've got trackers on us. The trackers would have to be linked to the systems on the ship at the moment.
Yeah.
Honestly, just the signal that the trackers are using.
Oh yeah.
Because if we know the signal, then we can just. It's really
Right.
easy to just flick that onto a scanner and be like, okay, this is exactly where the tracker is on us or on the ship.
Yep.
So that should make it far easier to just.
You're able to find that in the system. That'd be recorded in the ship's computer.
They need to know what signal they're using. So there we go. Now we know what signal they're using to track us, and we can do what we will with that information.
Cool.
Anything else? Not that I can think of.
Yeah, me neither. So let us back out carefully.
Okay. I won't make you roll for that because that's why you were spending momentum to learn as much information, and that's like, and we withdraw before the security sweep changes the passwords again. I will look to Ryloff to do something on that day.
Now, I said Kovic was friendly. I'm not.
And Romulans aren't known for their small talk on long trips.
No.
Unless they know each other, then that's not really small talk. It's small talk with someone, family or friends. But a stranger? Why am I talking to a stranger? Unless I'm getting something out of it.
So that, and I can't really. I can, however, misdirect, and I can misdirect in a manner that's not exactly entirely a lie, but it's enough. It's got enough truth to it that if you want to double check it, it makes sense. But there's just more added onto it that doesn't need to be there. So we'll start talking to some state people here and there. Very minor figures in regards to. Oh yes, this is what. Is currently happening with trying to progress with the Halanak agreement, etc., etc. Oh yeah, we've got this harmonizer here. We're going to look at this training facility. Put off our intentions to the people that are very clearly listening.
Present security difficulty too, as you're trying to minimize your profile here. Like, we may be persons of importance, but we're actually not doing anything related to our project, which, hilariously, is actually true.
It's true, yeah, exactly. And then the other true part of that is, if they want to look, it's like, yeah, the Romulan is trying to get the Halanak agreement slightly altered with security aspects, and this would fit that envelope.
Yeah.
So there's multiple levels of things that fit correctly, just get them look in the wrong places. That said, potentially focuses in, say, Star Navy protocols.
Add complication. There's not a clear protocol for this.
Complication, yeah. Team dynamics, in terms of working. One, we're working in the auspices of we're going to be making this a team effort in the future. That's what we're aiming towards. But I'm also bouncing off these other people to get this story to work and seem like we're actually collaborating together.
Comp increase, because they don't know that the people you're talking to don't know you're doing this as a screen. So.
Exactly. Okay. Either way, it's comp increase, so that's fine. I'll be fine. Negotiation definitely doesn't work.
I mean, a certain adjunct could shift it, but I don't know what if the other ones would be any better.
I don't think any of the other ones would be appropriate here. Okay, so we'll
crisis response.
Yep. I'll give you a threat.
Whoa, no.
I didn't change the name again, but whatever.
Well, Sundari makes lots of friends now.
Yeah, and then I can re-roll the one. There we go.
Generate one. You get the feeling, I mean, you don't know precisely how the crew is reacting, but you know how you might react. Yeah, you're fairly certain by the end of the day that you've suitably presented a Romulan who's on a low value trip based on the mission profile they're on. So you probably, in their eyes, they're still probably going to watch you, but they're not as concerned. If anything, it's done out of contractual obligation than it is any actual belief that you have profitable information to share.
Mm-hmm. There you go, Kovic.
We
Nice.
we swing over to one more day of the Gilded Star en route to its target planet.
You can make friends with people later.
Were there any indications that these people were capable of subspace communication?
They'd have a rudimentary one because they would have had to have traded with people. They'd have a very basic subspace radio, the kind you'd buy off of some free trader.
All right, and I'm gonna give him a call.
I suppose, yeah, days of subspace transmission is not hard to do. There is a notable lag for a second, and there's a moment where you think maybe they didn't hear you, or they're not responding. You're almost about to give up, and then eventually you actually get your communications officer lets you know that they are responding to our hail.
I'll ask them to see if we can boost it from our side to get rid of the lag.
Give me control plus engineering, difficulty of 2. Assisted
This is
by
Alan.
comms plus engineering. If someone wants to roll Alan, feel free to. Halanak, the harmonizer, the Halanak.
The Halanak has stepped away. Sure, I'll roll for Alan.
I'm awake, I swear, everybody.
What's the roll here?
Control engineering, difficulty 2. Assisted by comms engineering of Gilded Star. Yes, I have to say it in an accent. What about it?
Oh, all right, cool. Glad to know that. Alan does not have, I believe, any relevant stuff here. Don't think there's not a relevant focus or anything like that. So, buy a third die.
With threat, duh.
Yeah, with threat.
Oh, well, the ship.
Well, Captain, your engineer did a great job.
Yeah, why don't you have him spend determination on mission directive so he doesn't blow up our
Let's do
our
that.
negotiation before it starts?
That'll be what directive.
The one for getting
1?
materials.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depends for directive 1. Rerolls 3. It's 2.
And gain 2
And the
because
ship
of the
gave
ship.
2.
You're able to boost the signal, boost your receiver and your signal, so it's easier for their more antiquated subspace radio to understand each other. So you were able to make up for the lag. You can have audio or on screen. You're the one controlling the call in that regard.
On screen.
On screen, with a backdrop of a wide blue ocean and a clear blue sky, stands before you a rather large-looking frog-like creature, whose big eyes just kind of stare at the screen for an uncomfortable amount of time, and then blink. And then he begins croaking. The translator, thankfully, this is a species that's been encountered by other traders, so it's in the database, but it does take a second or two for the translator to catch. There's a lag in the translator to catch what it's saying, but not enough for you to worry about it. I am Zorak Krellar of the Krellaran Dominion. Who is calling me?
This is the free trader SS Gilded Star on contract with the United Federation of Planets. I call to discuss economic opportunity.
I have no interest in joining the United Federation of Planets. And he hangs up.
And I call back.
There's a pause. You know it's not lag now. He's willfully not answering right away. And then eventually. Yes, Gilded Star.
You'll excuse me, but I made no offer of you joining the Federation. I merely wish to buy the mineral products of your planet. Specifically, what was the mineral?
Iridium.
Iridium.
To what tonnage? You see a large claw come across the viewfinder for a second, and then you hear a crunching noise off screen, and then you see one of the you see its whole body kind of turn to look at a screen that isn't the camera.
With those two monetary advantages, what can I do here? If I want to not only get what Starfleet needs, but I want to further enrich myself, should I buy a lot? Should I try to buy production facilities?
You could spend one. Mechanically, I would say you could spend one to make the role of talking him around to it easier, and then the other one to add the advantage. If you succeed, add the advantage of I also buy some spare that you know you could sell off down the line. Because you're buying in such bulk, you're going to save yourself a bit of money to resell it somewhere else.
That's just going to give me the same advantage I already have, though, of excess money.
It will make it persist, though, because you basically have it banked in Iridium.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry about promissory notes and me trying to pull fast ones on you, that sort of thing. You have it in hard commodity.
All right. Then I will give him the number, which I assume is in, millions of metric tons.
He will try to... Actually, I know what he's going to do. That is a sizable trade. That will cost you many, many mullahs. Are you interested in a discount?
Always.
Would you be interested in a waive for your first shipment?
By waive, I assume he means like no tariffs or like no cost?
For momentum, you might be able to puzzle out what he meant to say.
Sure.
Basically, your first shipment of goods is free, but this project will take multiple shipments, so he's basically waiving the cost of the first load, or he's offering to waive the first load.
Well, you certainly are generous.
Well, there is consideration. You have Starship?
I do have the Gilded Star.
You have Federation sensors.
I do.
I would like for you in exchange of this, and for discount, to investigate an area of my planet of which I believe there is something of value, and if you scan and provide scan survey, then my thanks and discount. If something of material benefit and good to the Dominion is found, depending on value, of which we can agree upon, I may be convinced to reconsider if I charge you any moolah. For your material good to the Dominion may outweigh the monetary good you provide.
This thing you need scanned, is it do you suspect resource deposits and you want to search and confirm, or do you suspect that there is some deposit of technology?
This was a falling rock of some type, which has irradiated a low-value portion of our world. This has made local efforts highly dangerous and of questionable profit to the Dominion. But should a starfarer investigate and find resource or technology, then of benefit. Our abilities are by vibration and optic, rather than the sensors you use. I'll note when it says sensors, there's an obvious croak where it's trying to mimic the sound that other species use, but it can't make that sound with its voice. Like, that's a word that their language doesn't have. So they have to use a loan word to say it. Or loan words.
Right now, let's negotiate without the assumption of this extra task. When I get there, I may reevaluate.
I will permit this. This is an opposed presence command roll. He's buying a full mix. He really wants you to do this task. And if he has to pay money, if he wants to get money, he wants to get as much as possible. So either way.
Can I use milestone from episode Bold Horizons where I first negotiated with Starfleet?
Yeah.
Which I will spend on. Always have to make some credits.
Yep.
And then I'll spend 3 and give you 2.
Two, 3. I do get to reroll one of them, but that's not going to be a huge difference.
And I'm
I made it worse.
by 1. Because I mean,
I'm glad I rerolled
because
that
of
19.
the advantage of money. Yeah, that was poor. So I guess we're canceling out.
Yeah.
So I rolled 4 and had a free one.
5 versus my 3, so you generate 2. after you go back and forth, negotiating the exact latinum amount, as it were, you're able to find a price that is where you'll come out ahead in the profit. You're paying a bit below what market value for a significant portion below market value for this much iridium. Part of it's just because you're able to negotiate the fact that it's a large amount of iridium, so there should be some level of discount just to move that much, and know that no, that's bought and paid for. That's done. You don't have to think about that anymore.
Yeah.
And for the
I'll ask him
second,
to
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna ask him to send me over what information you have, and I'll do a little bit of research before I get there.
Very good.
And
And-
I'll stand up and put a chalk mark on the chalkboard indicating that not only did I secure one of the things we need, but I also didn't abandon a pre-warp species like Starfleet loves to do. To
Yes,
to-
yes,
to
yes. You've introduced them to the
anonymity.
wonders of capitalism.
No,
I'm
they
so
already
proud of you.
knew the wonders of capitalism. I've
Oh.
simply enriched them rather than just letting them wallow in obscurity until they get the warp drive.
You've created an extractive state whose sole economic export is raw resources it ships to us.
I didn't hear any complaining.
Oh my god.
So, on the back of that, I think we'll end it here. And some people have already left, but there are 2 possible missions that before the big meeting that will have their own thing. Because I'll want to spend an episode on if the Gilded Star does do this task. That's it's going to be its own thing, because that's going to be its own episode. Because potentially it might end early, and then we can move into the meeting. And there's also the rescue operation, which is going to be its own thing. We can figure out which of those we want to hit first. And
the rescue operation is after the meeting, isn't it?
Huh? Oh, that's true. The rescue is after the meeting. So yeah, we would so we can do this mission, the Gilded Star mission first. If there's extra time, then we can do the meeting, and then the one after that will likely be the Swiftland Express mission.
Sounds good.
But yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, because there's a big gap. So, you guys are getting further and further along on gathering the various personnel you need. I think you've gotten all the key shipwrights and personnel to build the ship. Now it's just materials hunting, which right now you're going to secure. The only one you don't have in the bag is the crystals, but that's probably a good command roll or 2 later. We'll make that happen. As for the iridium, well, it's bought, but you might get extra for helping out these the Dominion with their problem. And whether or not...
And it'll take some time for all of this to get here, so it's like any other last-minute preparations we can make. We still have time.
Oh yeah, definitely. So
I also presume that once we have the the NX team assembled, they'll also have to do some work in getting their own staff together, of not staff, but their
teams.
Yeah.
Much ado, and the hard part, one of the hard parts are going to be behind us soon, but we shall see what extra profits and dangers we shall face next time. For all of you watching, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.
All right.
Phew. There's a couple rolls there I thought might have complicated your lives, but everyone managed to keep their head above water pretty well, so...
Yeah.
Also, I might think of assembling a wealth stat for our merchant, because there is a thing in the 2D20 SRD that reflects wealth. I might do something
yeah.
with that.
That'd be interesting.
Be cool.
Because otherwise, I'm just giving you momentum
anyways,
every so often.
even-
So
Even if you don't do that, Ah, shit, I had a whole joke that I was just thinking about. Just like,
Wonderful.
left.
It's all
it
gone.
was just ripped away.
Uh-huh. I drafted up some support character sheets as well as tokens. If people want to take a look at those, GM, if you want to take a look at those and see if they match the characters.
yeah, I'll give those a look.
Yeah, I figured I could do that. So